seemingly unstoppable. He's being billed as a future star of the heavyweight division. But tonight, he'll face his biggest test yet. Dillian Whyte, looking lean and mean, stands in his way. The 37-year-old has got all of the experience of a night like this, but it could be win or bust for the old warrior. So settle in, because the headline act will follow a thrilling undercard. The stage is set in Saudi for a scintillating showdown, and you'll hear it all unfold live on talkSPORT.
It's the biggest fight of my life and career.
Dillian, the body snatcher.
Everyone's saying no break. He is the biggest, hardest fight. The hardest puncher, the quickest puncher, the fastest guy.
Itauma is going looking for another showreel knockout. Moses Itauma can take him out right now.
The strongest guy, the most intelligent, the most patient is boxer.
He's a better mover than Mike Tyson, like a bit more fluid.
Oodles of natural talent.
I even phoned Dylan. I was like, Dylan, I don't know why you're taking this fight.
2 national titles, 3 European gold medals, and a world title. As a professional, I'm looking to replicate that.
Everyone portray him as a superhuman. That's how I'm approaching the fight. I'm fighting Superman.
Itauma! Oh! That's it!
If he can beat Dillian Whyte, then it's certainly the real deal.
Dillian Whyte is victorious!
Good evening, this is Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Klink. We have one hell of a show on the way for you. So much at stake tonight in Saudi. Moses Itauma takes on Dillian Whyte in the top billing, but there's a stacked undercard already underway. Don't forget, you can watch our top team in Saudi live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. We'll join those guys in just a moment, but first, alongside me in the studio is the former 3-weight world champion, G McKenzie. G, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Ollie, mate. Can't wait.
Yeah, what are your thoughts ahead of the main event tonight?
I'm really looking for a big performance tonight from everybody, to be honest with you. I think it's a stacked card. We've got some great fights on, and let's just hope we get the right results.
Absolutely. Right, the action is well underway, so let's cross ringside to Saudi Arabia. Filip Hrgović is taking on the Brit David Adelaide in a heavyweight clash. They're just about to start in round 4. Taking you through the action, the former European champion Spencer Oliver is alongside John Rawling.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. And we've already got a fascinating fight here. This is by some distance the biggest contest of David Adelaide's career. But in the second round, with no more than a straight left hand, he opened up an evil-looking cut on the right eyelid of the huge Croatian Filip Hrgović, who is a big favourite to win this fight. Adelaide caught him again directly on that damaged right eye in the third round, although Hrgović on my card would be 2 rounds to 1 ahead Spencer Oliver. Adelaide has already got the big Croatian in trouble, and if he can find a way to continue the punishment on that right eye, it's going to be touch and go as to whether Hrgović can see it through the 10 rounds if it goes that distance.
Yeah, agree with you, John. It could even be 3-0 to Hrgović, who's sort of held the centre of the ring, working well behind the jabs. The attacks to the body have been very effective as well, but in the last round there, the third round, Adelaide found success with their left hooks and the right hands. This contest really heating up here in round number 4.
Adelaide, we know, has got fast hands and he's got power in those gloves as well. Undefeated. Well, he's had 1 defeat, but he's had only one fight which didn't go the distance, He's got 14 wins, 13 stoppages. He's a real big puncher, and Adelaide, he's already caught the attention of Hrgović, who's going in again, looking to unload big body shots, and he's taking a toll, surely, with those body attacks that he's thundering in.
Yeah, really ripping the shots in, the left hooks and the right hooks to the body. Adelaide pinned in the red corner, misses wildly there with a left hook. He's trying to set the trap, he's trying to draw Hrgović in, as Hrgovic's face looks a red mess at the moment with that blood running down the right side of his face.
Hrgović in his 19th professional fight, 18 wins. He's got 14 by stoppage. He's the taller man by about 1.5 inches. Similar sort of weight. And Adelaide, well, this is a great opportunity, but if he's got a failing, he's not got great footwork. And Ergovic, who's himself is fairly predictable, comes forward looking to throw bombs, sometimes from range, and lands a great right hand there and puts Adelaide back onto reverse gear, and he just senses that he might have got Adelaide going a little bit. Adelaide blinking uncomfortably after that huge right hand.
Yep, he's in a bit of trouble here, John. He's definitely uncomfortable there as Hrgovic slams in the left hook to the body again. Adelaide tries to come back bravely himself as we hear the 10-second clacker go, and that bell can't come soon enough for Adelaide, who really needs to regroup going back there. Again, Hrgovic's right hand on the bell.
Excellent round that for Hrgovic. He's got the advantage in power, seemingly, of the punches which have landed so far. Only that one defeat on his record against Daniel Dubois. And of course, he wants to win impressively now to establish himself very much as a potential world challenger. David Adelaide with Adam Booth in his corner. And Adam Booth will be, I'm sure, instilling in him just stay patient and chip away. The opportunities will come.
Yeah, what he's doing, John, he's just waiting a split second too long before letting the shots go. He's sitting on the ropes, covering up with the shots, and he's letting that left hook, that trademark left hook, go, but he's letting it go a split second too late. He just needs to release it before. Another good round there for Filip Hrgovic.
That right eye looks an absolute mess. After 2 rounds, the doctor was called to ringside to have a look at it, and he didn't look exactly happy about it, but he said, yeah, he can continue. And I suppose the point is, if the blood isn't coming into his eye and affecting his vision, or if the eye isn't swelling up, then the action can continue. Hrgovic clearly on my card is ahead right now, and Spencer concurs with that, and it's Hrgovic who's starting the faster again now as we move into the 5th.
Yeah, what I will say is Hrgovic will know he's on borrowed time here, because you're right, John, that cut over his right eye goes right across the eyelid, and he will know as a fighter, the corner will know as well, that he is on borrowed time here, because we've still got the best part of 6 rounds to go here, and it's a long way. We've got 2 big heavy-hitting heavyweights like this.
The key punch for Adelaide will be the left hook. That's the one he'll be trying to throw towards that damaged right eye. Hrgovic again standing tall, controlling the ring, centering. There's a good right hand from Adelaide. Hrgovic takes it well, though, and the referee has to split between them as Hrgovic's head went under the left armpit of Adelaide. Adelaide gets his gloves up high. Hrgovic aiming headshots, left hand under right hand, both taken on the gloves. Misses with another right hand, Hrgovic. Then gets in with a right to the body. Adelaide doing a pretty good job on those ropes, though, of covering up, and he'll be looking to counter as he works away from those ropes in front of us. But a good right hand from Hrgovic.
Big body shot goes in from Hrgovic as well. Adelaide spending too much time on those ropes. He needs to start doing something now, letting Hrgovic know he's still in this contest, as Hrgovic's face is a complete mess in there at the moment. Adelaide needs to let those hands go.
Just over a minute to go in round 5. Good right hand from Hrgovic, but Adelaide takes it well, and another right hand straight down the middle from Hrgovic. Adelaide falls in and is caught by a left hook as he does so, and the referee once again has to split these 2 huge men. Adelaide breathing deeply as Hrgovic comes forward, aiming headshots once more. Adelaide trying to cover up, and he's not evading many of those.
Just misses the right uppercut there, Adelaide. Again, a split second too long as he leans on those ropes, covering up. It's all Filip Hrgovic here in this 5th round with 30 seconds to go left on the clock.
Familiar voice also with us here at ringside tonight, Gareth A. Davis, and we'll be hearing from him, assuming this fight goes to the bell to end round 5. Another good right hand from Hrgovic, and Adelaide is finding it very tough in there, and he just looked a little bit anxiously towards his corner, towards Adam Booth, as much as to say, how do I win this one? Well, he's waving Hrgovic in, and Adelaide gets in with a left hand, which was a grazing shot towards that damaged right eye, and he finishes with 2 or 3 good headshots. Good work from Adelaide, but it's another Hrgovic round, Gareth.
Absolutely. Good evening, gentlemen. Look, Adam Booth at the end of the 2nd round saying to David Adelaide, because of that terrible cut over Hrgovic's right eye, just stay in it. Has his eye not been cut, you'd be talking about the utter dominance right now, Filip Hrgovic. But he's got a chance because Hrgovic's eye is in a mess. But from where I'm seeing it, Adelaide needs to be more active. He's taking a battering from Hrgovic right now, who's won every round, as Dillian Whyte appears on the monitors in the arena. Hrgovic is in danger because of that eye, but he's way on top against Adelaide at the moment.
Yeah, not good advice there in the corner, John, saying just stay in it. This is heavyweight boxing, and we know that at the moment, Filip Hrgovic really going for this one. You've got to do more than just stay in it.
Well, we go down into the new round, and Hrgovic, well, I think there was an argument that Adelaide might have taken the second. That was the round in which Hrgovic got cut, and they now move into the second half of the fight. And I suppose the important thing, as far as the referee and the doctor is concerned, is that although that cut looks awful and there's a lot of blood around in there, the vision of Hrgovic doesn't look as though it's being affected.
Yep, solid jab there from David Adelaide. That just sent the sweat spray in there from Filip Hrgovic's face. But Hrgovic again takes control, slams in the right hook, left hook to the body. Right hand over the top as well. Good action here in this 6th round.
Really competitive heavyweight fight, this. Reminder that Hrgovic was a very, very strong betting favourite before the fight began. You could get around 4-1 against David Adelaide winning this one. And Hrgovic, who you could argue has fought at a very much higher level, got a win on his record against the giant Chinese heavyweight Zhilei Zhang on the undercard of Usyk Joshua back in 2022. He's been a major contender for some time, and we're looking at a punch count, and Hrgovic has landed many more punches than Adelaide and thrown many more as well. And Adelaide sinks back onto the ropes in front of us once more, and Hrgovic starting to unload, looking for big shots towards the head of Adelaide, who again tries to clasp hold of the big Croatian's midriff.
Yep, you can't argue David Adelaide's heart here. He's showing a lot of character to hang in there, to be fair, because big right hand again there from Filip Hrgovic. Adelaide just covers up as he's forced back to the ropes again. Hands held high. Right hook round the side there from Hrgovic as well. Dominant round again from Hrgovic, but yes, Adelaide hanging in there somehow.
It's going to take more than bravery, though, isn't it? He breathes very deeply as the referee splits them, because he knows that another big onslaught from Hrgovic will be coming his way. Just falls short with an attempted left hook counter, but you just sense that Adelaide's pace never been particularly high from word go, but he's struggling to stay with Hrgovic now, really sucking in the air here in the big indoor arena here in Riyadh.
Yep, time for David really to roll the dice a little bit here, make or break, because he's under severe pressure. Right hand, left hook, slams in again as Adelaide ties Hrgovic up, walks him back to the ropes.
He's taken a lot of headshots as David Adelaide, and Hrgovic has got 15 seconds remaining in this round. We'll go into the blue corner, into the David Adelaide corner at the end of this round, and hear what Adam Booth can tell him by way of instructions. Hrgovic finishing this round on top again. Left hand, right hand, and Adelaide makes his way back to the corner, looking tired. Adam Booth, so long associated with David Hay, now speaking to David Adelaide.
Forward. Yeah. Deep breaths, people.
You drive me crazy, shorty. We can see you and feel you.
You don't realise how tired he is. And it's not bad, but you've lost this fight on points. It's done on points. It's done on points. When you let your hands go, he has no answer. And you just go like that and let him thump away. How bad do you want to prove yourself? Lee, you said you wanted this. You said you wanted this. You said you wanted this. He's fucking tired. You're not. He's hitting with everything that hurt you.
Sorry about some of the language unfolding in the corner there, but you could hear Adam Booth telling him, you're losing this definitely on points. You've got to get in there now and find a way of letting the big punches go and to knock him out. And interestingly, another observer at ringside probably telling him precisely that is Derek Chisora.
Yep, you heard the corner there, Adam Booth saying, how badly do you want this, son? Get out there and do what you've been doing in the gym. Now, I was in the gym with David Adelaide. We had a day in camp with David Adelaide, and I know how much they've been working hard and working on that left hook, and that's the shot he just detonated.
And he tried to throw a big punch once again. Ergovic, how much has he got left? On occasion, he's tired in the latter stages of big fights, but Adelaide now probably needs to find a way to floor him through another big left hook. Ergovic only just partially covered up, and Adelaide keeping the gloves high. You heard what Adam Booth said, let the big punches go, and he lands another big left hook and a right hand. This is a good spell here from David Adelaide, but Ergovic tries to regroup as he stands tall, centre ring, short of the mark with a left hook, and a straight right taken on the gloves by Adelaide, and the referee has to split them once more as Ergovic leans in close.
Yet there's more of a tide. Look about Filip Hrgovic now as his hands are starting to drop and he has to be careful. Adelaide doesn't counter with one of those big left hooks.
Adelaide, we know, has got real punching power, but he's going to have to find it now. He's going to have to find a way, almost certainly, of putting Hrgovic down if he's going to have a chance of getting anything out of this fight. Midway stage of round 7, Hrgovic in with a left hand, right hand. Right hand landed on the head. Huge, great swing from Adelaide, went through thin air and fell short of the target as the referee splits them once more.
Yet the referee having to do a lot of work in this contest as well, as Hrgovic again comes forward, misses with a right hand. Adelaide doing a good job defensively on the ropes, misses wildly with a left hook of his own.
Left hook to the body from Hrgovic. You heard Adam Booth telling his fighter, you're the one who wanted this one, now get out there and do it. How much do you want it now? He's got to try and make him believe, and certainly there's been a little bit more belief about Adelaide's work in this round, but here comes Hrgovic again, and Adelaide just walked back a little bit unsteadily after another big right hand smashed into the side of his head.
I tell you what, Hrgovic is starting to build a pace himself a little bit here as he stalks forward. Adelaide just misses with a left hook. Good counter left hook there from Hrgovic. Great action here in round 7. 20 seconds to go.
Adelaide gambling everything on landing one of those massive haymaking left hooks. He's going to have to find one. He's going to have to find the target, and Hrgovic now ties him up inside. And this time, Adelaide walks him across to the far side of the ring. Last few seconds, and there's the bell going to end it. Did Adelaide do enough to win that round? I'm not convinced, but it was certainly a better round for the man from Ladbroke Grove.
Yep, very competitive round as we just take a look in the corner there of Filip Hrgovic. Abel Sanchez working in the corner there with him, and that is a horrendous cut right across the top of the right eyelid. They've done well to sustain the bleeding from that eye there, and the corner just goes over to David Adelaide. Sorry, the referee goes over to the corner of Adelaide, and he's also going over the corner of Hrgovic as well. Interestingly speaking to both corners, but what a contest we've got here. Maybe our scorecards, John, don't really tell the story of this one, because we've got Filip Hrgovic a proverbial mile in front here, but really Adelaide has been playing his part and still looks dangerous.
Well, he's still got a chance, hasn't he? And if he lands one of those massive haymaking left hooks, and that's aimed, of course, towards the damaged right eye of Hrgovic, then it could still change even at this stage. We're into the 8th round of this 10-rounder. I've got Hrgovic a country mile in front.
Stop! Yep, I'm with you on that, John. I think maybe give Adelaide a round 2 at most here, and he's going to need something big, a knockout on our scorecards for sure, but he's still carrying that power. He still looks dangerous. He just needs to let those hands go. As Hrgovic throws a big right hand, the legs buckle there of Adelaide.
And Adelaide sticks his tongue out as much as to say, that's the best you've got. Oh, no, it's not. He's landed a big big chopping right hand, and Adelaide is down with the count at 4, 5, 6. He's up to his feet, he looks clear-eyed, and he convinces the referee, does he, that he's fit to go on. He looks to his corner, and the referee says yes, box on. It was the right hand from Ergovic which put him down, and he's looking for more now. The Croatian looking to Adelaide comes back with a huge left hand of his own. Great drama here. Right hook as well from Adelaide, and the referee has to split them. Not quite sure why. I think he's told Adelaide that he was using his head, but he also landed some massive punches as well, and Adelaide has still got a chance despite that knockdown.
Hrgovic is walking like he's on stilts in there at the moment. That left hook has taken an effect. What drama we have here in round 8 with 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock. Adelaide just misses wildly, gave him a hook, comes back with a right hand.
Adelaide talking to him as they clinch in close, trying to tell him, I'm still here, no doubt, and I can punch. Did you feel that? Well, he's going to try and land another big one. Here comes Hrgovic, left hand, right hand, and the big one to the body. Back comes Adelaide, off the ropes with a left hook to the head of Hrgovic, who looks a little bit stunned again by that. Right hand, left hand, and is Hrgovic about to go here? There's still 45 seconds to go in this 8th round. Big right hand from Adelaide. Hrgovic leans on this time. As Spencer Oliver said, looking as though he's walking on stilts. Has the tide turned here? How has Hrgovic stayed upright?
How exactly that, John? How has Hrgovic stayed on his feet? David Adelaide, left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook. Every shot landed, and he is in desperate trouble, Hrgovic, but comes back. Where is he finding the strength? What a contest we've got here.
Well, we come now with 10 seconds to go in this 8th round. Hrgovic seemingly has ridden out the storm. Massive right hand from Adelaide, just falls short of the target. In comes Hrgovic with a right hand of his own. Well, what a round that was. And watching them saw, open-mouthed as we were, in admiration of the heart of these two guys, Duke McKenzie.
Do you know what? This is just, it's caught to light, isn't it? Adelaide's finally come to life, and absolutely Hrgovic all over the place. You know, beautiful right hand, good left hooks, but I don't know where this has been for the whole of the fight. You know, because I haven't made him win one round.
Well, I made him win that last one, Duke. Did you, Spencer?
Yeah, I think that Hrgovic dominated the round. Adelaide come back and had a good little spell for 15, 20 seconds, John. Whether that's caught the judge's eye or not, I'm not sure, with a knockdown as well.
Yeah, but for me, Adelaide won the rest of the round, but there was a chopping right hand from Hrgovic which sent him down, and he landed some more big ones after that. But what heart from Adelaide to come just thundering back.
Well, Adelaide slow up out of his corner there as the referee calls them together for the beginning of round number 9.
And who's going to surge on from here? Less than 6 minutes to go. The biggest fight of David Adelaide's life. Good left hand, beating Hrgovic to the punch there. The big Croatian, though, so big, so strong, lands another chopping right hand into the head of Adelaide, who's got his gloves up high now. I suppose if you gave the rest of that round to Hrgovic as well as the knockdown, it could be scored as a 10-8 round. May well be that the judges see it that way, but Adelaide is still in there, still pitching, and he and his trainer Adam Booth will be trying to hope, still believing.
Well, one thing's for sure, John, David Adelaide needs a knockout in this contest. Yes, it's been entertaining. As I say, that short right hand slams into the face there of Adelaide as he's pinned into the neutral corner. Hrgovic teeing off on him.
Hrgovic looking for another big right, just short of the mark with it, and a left hook following up, whistled across the front of Adelaide's face. Referee splits them. Adelaide looking for an opportunity to land a bomb from somewhere. He's got his feet planted flat, and he's just trying to give himself opportunity to land punches with maximum purchase. He's bobbing this way and that. Hrgović misses with a left hook, straight right hand taken on the gloves by Adelaide. Midway point of round 9. Adelaide trying to get a bit of movement into his feet, almost jogged on the spot, but he looks dog-tired now.
Yep, just trying to find a bit of life in his legs there, Adelaide, trying to shake out all that lactic acid, because as we move into this just over halfway through the 9th round, it's now becoming the psychological battles of physicalities have left both of these guys now. It's becoming a battle of the minds in there right now.
You've got to give a little bit of credit to the cuts work of Leonard Sanchez in that Hrgović corner, because they've worked wonders on a cut which seriously opened on his right eye as early as the 2nd round. And now David Hayne dabs a little bit uncomfortably at his face. Maybe he's got a cut at this late stage in his fight. Certainly there'll be bruising there tomorrow morning. He's going to feel the punishment of this fight for days after this. Right hand from Adelaide, but it was only a glancing blow somewhere around the left shoulder of Filip Hrgović.
Yeah, right idea there from Adelaide, though. Just a little dip to the right-hand side and then let that right hand go. That's what he needs now, because he needs to find the big shot. As again, Hrgović pins Adelaide in the corner. Adelaide comes back with a right hand, just skims over the top, and we hear the 10-second clacker.
We'll go into the blue corner and hear what Adam Booth says to Filip Hrgović as Hay lands a left hand under right hand. There's the bell to end the 9th. Another round in the bag, surely for Hrgović. And now, as they say, there's a phrase for this. It's you know what or bust. And that's going to be what I think Adam Booth's going to be telling David Adelaide.
On the bag, how much? All you got to do is let those ferocious combinations go 4 times in this round. 4 times. Let me know where I am in the run. You've got to go out and set a bag right from the start.
And there you go, he's spot on. You've got to get out and do it right from the start of this round. Put Hrgović under pressure. Hrgovic's bottom lip as well now is oozing blood. He really does look as though he's been in a fight, but he's winning it at the moment by a distance.
Yeah, great advice there from Adam Booth in the corner. Go out there, son. Roll the dice, throw the kitchen sink, anything you've got, because you need the knockout here in this 10th and final round. Hrgović dominating this one in this brutal battle.
Good right hand from Adelaide, glancing blow to the right-hand side of Hrgovic's face, and Adelaide trying to dominate the ring, trying to force Hrgović into reverse gear. Hrgović with a big reach advantage. He's got a massive 82-inch reach, and he's trying to utilise that as he has throughout. More advice being shouted from the corner of Adelaide, and Adelaide sinks back onto the ropes, takes a right hand, tries to throw a right-hand counter, but fell short of the mark. And Adelaide again, another couple of shots he ships to the head as Hrgović pushes forward, advances, and there's less than 2 minutes now for Adelaide to find this big punch that from somewhere he's got to produce.
Yep, he's covering up at the moment. Adelaide trying to draw Filip Hrgović into that pocket to let those shots go, but he's not getting off with his shots quick enough as we approach the halfway mark of this 10th and final round. Adelaide, this is the most important 1.5 minutes of your career, as he misses again there with a wild right hand.
He's just not been able to narrow the gap often enough, and he walks into another solid right hand from Hrgović, which buys the Croatian another 20 seconds as he advances on the finishing line, aiming for the head of Adelaide now. Left hand, right hand. Adelaide ties him up on the ropes and then tries to explode off the ropes with a left hook, which again whistled through thin air. A follow-up right hand cross also was not quite landed with the power that Adelaide craved. And less than a minute now. Can Adelaide still find something?
Well, big left hook there from Filip Hrgović. Adelaide just seemed to bend over, rock up and down. recovered from it somehow as he taps away at his head, and Hrgović again with a right hand. Adelaide pinned on the ropes, another right hand goes through.
So we come now to the final 30 seconds. Adelaide now has got to find the best 30 seconds of his professional career. Hrgović lands one to the body, back comes Adelaide with a right to the body and a left hand aimed at the head, which was partially blocked by Hrgović, who then lands his own chopping right hand and a left hook, and for a moment it looked as though Adelaide was going to sink down. We're into the last 10 seconds of what's been a grueling fight for both men. Adelaide comes forward, lands a left to the body. Hrgović fakes to throw a right hand. The bell goes to end it, and I'm afraid to say, brave though he was, committed though he was, the Londoner David Adelaide has fallen short here by some distance, and Filip Hrgović surely is going to be given a very wide points margin. He's sportingly going over the corner now to congratulate Adelaide on a tremendous effort, but Filip Hrgović just looked that little bit classier and that little bit better right the way through.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Hrgović took control from the opening rounds there, dominating behind the jab. That cut in the second round just seemed to throw him off a little bit. A horrendous cut in the second round, right across the top of the right eyelid. Well, I wasn't sure that he would be able to see that final bell. But Abel Sanchez in the corner done a brilliant job. They took control of it, and what a brutal battle, back and forth all the time. Adelaide played his part in a tremendous contest there, but maybe come too soon, Gareth, against the experienced Hrgović, who had his moments, but wasn't enough.
As you say, and Adam Booth read him the riot act in that going out for that 8th round. He had a brilliant 8th round, but he went missing between the 3rd and the 8th. And I don't mean that unkindly. You can talk about the class of Hrgović, but that cut eye should have been like a red rag to a bull, and he should have targeted it. I think Hrgovic's boxing skills get him out of it. He's a big puncher, he's a dangerous heavyweight, he's a great fighter. His vast experience got him through that as well. David Adelaide will have learned something, but we saw, I don't want to use the word golf, but we saw a big difference in class, tenacity, punch power, volume and ring control tonight. Hrgović has won it by 6 rounds for me, but Adelaide will learn from this, and he needed a finish in that last round.
Well, very shortly we're going to be given confirmation of the result, and here it comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Marco Morcadelli scores it 98-91, and both judges, Leszek Jankowiak and Enrico Licini, are in agreement. They both score it the same, 99-90. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And now both the WBO International and WBA Continental Gold Heavyweight Champion, Filip El Animal Hrgović.
There we go, Filip Hrgović winning the fight, a dominant victory really in the end. Duke McKenzie alongside me though, one place to start that 8th round. That was thrilling, wasn't it? One of the best rounds of the year. Real heart from David Adelaide. He got knocked down, he picked himself back up. Somehow though, Hrgović managed to stay on his feet, and overall he deserves that victory.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it looked like there was a difference in class, to be fair. I mean, as hard as Adelaide tried, he just couldn't pin him down. He wasn't busy enough from the outset. Work rate was pretty much non-existent from Adelaide. But listen, like I said, there's difference in class. Hrgović kept him at the end of the jab, hurt him with the right hand, works him to the body quite neatly. I thought Adelaide would have enough to turn this one around, to be fair. Before the fight started, I thought he could probably nick it, but I thought he'd get a late stoppage, but that wasn't the case. If anybody looked like there's going to be stopped, it looked like he was. He was hurt, got put down. But he never lost heart. He kept coming forward, and he kept coming forward till the end. Although he had nothing left from about the 6th round, he showed a lot of guts, but he weren't never going to win the fight.
Yeah, both fighters absolutely spent by the end. I want to bring back in Gareth A. Davies and Spencer Oliver. Gareth, You said in round 5 that Adam Booth in the corner of David Adelaide was saying just stay in it, which seemed like strange advice to me. Given that cut to the eye of Hrgović, surely that advice should have been to go for the jugular.
Well, no, it was the end of the second round, actually. He was giving that, again, the third round, giving that advice to stay in the fight at the time. But what he meant by that was, and I think the message wasn't relayed properly, stay in the fight and cause damage to that eye. Match him and box with him. But what Hrgović did, landed a greater volume of punches, took over in the fight and overawed David. That's what happened, Ollie.
Spence, do you feel that David Adelaide will look back on those middle rounds and maybe think he showed a bit too much respect there?
Ollie, listen, look, you got Duke in the studio there, and he will back me up on this one. When you get a fighter, you cut him like that in the second round, in a 10-round fight, and you've got the WBO number 2 position on the line and putting yourself in the potential line for a world title shot coming through that. You don't stay in the fight. You go for it, you attack it. That gives you that energy to push on, and that's what he should have done. And he'll look back on it and he'll regret that, because you can't just stick it hoping the ref's going to jump in and stop it, because you have good cornermen in there, you have good cutsmen in there, and that's what you got to do. So you've got to take initiative and go for the win.
What they were hoping tonight, Ollie and Duke, and you know this, is that Adelaide would step up a level. He performed okay and he performed valiantly, but he didn't step up a level. We know Hrgovic's record. Before Hrgović lost to Daniel Dubois, Ollie, he was considered a boogeyman of the division. People didn't want to fight him. He had a kind of a war with Zhilei Zhang. He's a giant human being to be around. We've been around him all week. I think Abel Sanchez, the erstwhile trainer of Gennady Golovkin in his corner tonight, really helped him, because they had him training up in Big Bear in California, and that got Hrgović through that as well tonight, because he looked very, very fit in there. He never looked like he was fading at all. And if anyone was fading, as you rightly say, it was David Adelaide. It's a great performance by Hrgović, because he's got a young gun, a young stud, if you like, dealt with and out of the way.
Yeah, he's dealt with him very well indeed. Gentlemen, thanks very much indeed. So much still to come for you on Fight Night on talkSPORT 2. We're heading over to talkSPORT at 9 o'clock. Don't forget, Nick Ball is in action against Sam Goodman later on. Very much looking forward to that before the main fight later. Tonight, unbeaten rising star Moses Itauma takes on the proven and dangerous Dillian Whyte in a heavyweight showdown. Don't miss the action. Watch only on DAZN.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app. This is talkSPORT 2.
on DAB+, online, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker.
The Dillian Whyte versus Moses Itauma undercut
on talkSPORT 2.
Good evening, this is Fight Night Live on talkSPORT 2. I'm Ollie Klink, thanks for joining us. This evening we're bringing you a huge heavyweight clash later on between Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte. In just a moment we've got Hayato Suzuki against Kaish Ashfaq before Nick Ball and Sam Goodman face off for the WBA featherweight title. I'm joined in the studio by Duke McKenzie. Duke, there's so much to build up to, there's so much to get into as well. We've just seen dominant win, haven't we, for Ergovic against Adelaide. In the end, Ergovic taking it on points. It was a thrilling 8th round, but Ergovic having too much for Adelaide. But let's talk about this main event, Itauma against Dillian Whyte. And it feels, doesn't it, like the coming-of-age moment for Itauma?
It's definitely the coming-of-age moment for Moses Itauma. I think this fight should tell us quite a lot what we need to actually know about this young kid. You know, he's 12 fights unbeaten, looks sensational, blowing everybody away. Let's just hope we can get a few rounds out of him tonight so we can get those questions answered, you know, because obviously there are more questions than answers. So, but I mean, you can't fault him. He's doing everything right, and I expect him to win tonight quite handily.
Really? Yeah, that's your prediction.
I mean,
early on, do you think?
No. I think Dillian will give him a few rounds. I do believe that it will go probably past the halfway mark. I would expect about 8 rounds possibly by Itauma. I mean, if he thinks I hope he doesn't think he just go out there and blow Dillian Whyte out in a round or two, because I think if nothing else, you know, with Dillian, he's a proud man and he won't want to get blown away. So he's cagey. He uses ring experience, his ring IQ, all the fights he's had. He can draw back on a wealth of experience, and he could make this look quite ugly for Itauma.
Let's bring in our team who are out in Saudi at ringside. talkSPORT Fight Night host Gareth A. Davies and the former European champion Spencer Oliver. I mean, you two have been out with those fighters out in Saudi all week. What have you made of how they've been in the build-up to this fight? Gareth, if I start with you and Dillian Whyte, what have you made of him?
Well, Dillian only really started to pop on our podcast a couple of nights ago when we said, what was he saying to you at the weigh-ins there? And Dillian, or at the press conference as it was, and Dillian said, look, I've told him he's not a bad man, don't bad man me, he's not a street guy. And he let off a series of expletives, the old Dillian Whyte that we're used to, the howling wolf, the guy who was menacing with an electricity and an energy coming off him. That was only partial and momentary really from Dillian. He's been cool, calm and respectful all week, as Moses has been towards him. He didn't like the fact he wanted to know if Dillian was a sheep or a wolf. Dillian is a wolf, as Duke just alluded to. He's a very proud Jamaican Brit who has fought all his life for survival, a father at 13. He's been shot and stabbed. He's a very proud man coming into this fight, and he doesn't like it that people are considering him to be cannon fodder. But the problem is, for him, that his best days are arguably behind him at 37. And Moses Itauma, yeah, we're all hyping him. He's only had 12 fights. He hasn't really fought anyone. He's only had 25 rounds, but this is the night when he steps up in terms of a name, an opponent and class. And Moses has it all to do tonight. In many ways, and I don't know if Duke agrees with me on this, or even Spencer, but Moses is under more pressure than Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, totally agree with that. He is under more pressure. He's the kid that's coming through. He's the one that's, you know, he's the one that everyone's talking about as the next heavyweight Kingslayer. So there's a lot of pressure on this young man's shoulders. Duke will echo in what I'm saying, or I'd like to get his opinion on this one as well. But at 20 years of age, you know, he's boxed on these undercards. He's had that apprenticeship. He's been had that development. But now he's top of the bill. Now the reality kicks in. This is the coming of age fight. This is the acid test, because if he's going in there thinking he's going to blow Dillian Whyte away, you know, he's got another thing coming. Dillian Whyte's still a very dangerous fighter who's only ever lost to the elite, the world's best.
Duke, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for Dillian Whyte, really, because, like you say, he's got a wealth of experience that he can draw on. So he could make this fight very, very ugly for Moses, and let's just hope that Moses doesn't try to just think he can just walk in. Everything's got to be done behind an educated jab, as we know. I really think that he will be box smart. He has to box smart. Well, he could, it could be an unattractive fight otherwise. But I just feel that, youth and ambition and class and skill all lies with Itauma.
Spencer, I want to get your thoughts, because I heard you this week, Duke McKenzie, talking about the leading hand, the pouring lead hand of Moses Itauma, and being quite critical of that. Spencer, do you think that the Duke has a point there, that it is a weakness?
No, I don't actually. I'm the other way actually. I think that he uses that to set a trap. You look at his back foot, he's ready to spring back. We've got to remember this kid's got youth, speed, a lot of movement, great boxing IQ. He's different to the rest of the heavyweights. That's why he's a standout. And he's spiteful with his shots as well out of that southpaw style. And you see him when he drops that lead right hand, he's trying to draw the opponent in. He's trying to set the trap so that when they do lead off with a shot, lean over that front foot ever so slightly, he steps back with his left foot and drills that left hand through the middle. Whether he can do that at a higher level remains to be seen. That's what we see tonight, whether he can do that. But I think that he's doing it intentionally as opposed to being sloppy.
But we do think he's a prodigy, Ollie. We do think he's a prodigy, Duke. There is something about being around Moses Itauma. He has a presence and an aura. Remember, he's only boxed 25 rounds. Mike Tyson, had boxed 28 fights and 75 rounds before he beat Trevor Berbick to win his first world title. But times have changed. Moses is very, very interesting. He's sparred with a lot of the top heavyweights. From the age of 15, he is one of those incredibly young sensations. Duke saying all the things about Moses that we know already. He has the poise, the presence, the speed, the left-handedness to make it happen for himself tonight. And if he wins inside 5 rounds, the gate will close and he will never come down a level again.
Yeah, it launches him into stardom. It's incredibly exciting. We'll bring you that fight live on talkSPORT. We're heading over there at 9 o'clock tonight, and don't forget as well, you can watch the boys out in Saudi on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel as they react to the fight. So, okay, it's time for our next fight of the night, a super featherweight clash. Hayato Sushumi, undefeated, fighting outside Japan for the first time, is up against the lad from Leeds, Kais Ashfaq. Taking you through this one, Spencer Oliver, alongside John Rawling.
In association with
And here are the big introductions being given tonight by Thomas Schreiber.
Kadia, SNB.
Just joining us, Raymond Ford's already won tonight. A significant points victory over Abraham Nova. Two Americans, and Philip Ergovich beating David Adelaide. But next up we have this 10-round super featherweight contest, and here is Thomas Schreiber going through all the formalities before the action begins.
Antonio Maronia of Italy and Jose Roberto Torres of Puerto Rico. Our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Leszek Jankowiak of Poland. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he comes to the ring wearing beige with green and weighed in officially at 131.9 pounds. Coming to us from Leeds, West Yorkshire, England, he proudly represented Great Britain at the 2016 Olympics, and now as a professional has a record consisting of 13 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 5 of his 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kais Ashfaq! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing white with red and gold and weighed in the same as his opponent, 131.9 pounds. Hailing from Tokyo, Japan, he had a stellar amateur career, becoming a youth world champion, and now, as a proud Ring Magazine ambassador, he is undefeated as a professional with 7 wins, 4 of his 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Hayato Tsutsumi!
Final words of advice now to be given by the referee as the two fighters are drawn together center ring.
Boxers, you received my instructions in dressing rooms. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Two fighters similar size but instantly identifiable, not least by the fact that Tsutsumi has a mop of peroxide blonde hair. You thought about that one, Spenny?
I don't think I've got enough hair to do that, John, but yet Tsutsumi comes with an incredible record of 7 wins, 4 of those inside the distance, and those last 4 contests he's had, he's won inside the distance, so there's big things expected of this young man. But in front of him is Ashfaq, former Olympian, and he fancies this. This is all about opportunity.
Well, there's talk of the Japanese superstar Inoue fighting over here sometime round about Christmas. There's a December 27 date, and it may well be that that's going to be launched as a huge night for Japanese boxing. We'll see, but I don't doubt that if that happens, that Tsutsumi would want to be on that bill. And there's a solid body shot from Tsutsumi and a nod from the Japanese fighter to Ashfaq, as much as to say, yep, that's what I can do.
Yep, dangerous looking fighter. Tsutsumi just taking centre of the ring, just pouring away, trying to draw the lead of the southpaw Ashfaq. At the moment, Ashfaq just holding that lead right hand out, trying to draw in Tsutsumi, but Tsutsumi looks very, very capable as he slams in. The body shot there just falls short. Good jab there from Ashfaq, though.
And he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to use his boxing ability, because in his pro career so far, he's maybe faltered just a little bit because of a lack of genuine punch power. And there another right-hand lead from Ashfaq, which he turned into a little hook up close, and it was good work again from the Leeds man, who incidentally is a graduate. Sports performance was what he studied at Leeds Beckett University. Now, though, trying to get perhaps the most significant win of his pro career.
Yep, nice movement here from Ashfaq as he moves around the perimeter of the ring, boxing out that southpaw style. Short right hook over the top there of Tsutsumi. Tsutsumi just stalking forward, misses with a right hand, but slams in the left hook to the body there.
Tsutsumi looks as though he's certainly the heavier-handed in the opening minutes, and they come very close to a clash of heads there, which often happens when you have an orthodox fighter fighting against a southpaw, as Ashfaq is. Southpaw, to the uninitiated, means that he's basically left-handed, and he fights out of a right-handed approach. He's jabbing off with the right hand, and that means that his right foot and the left foot of Hayato Tsutsumi potentially can come very close to tangling up.
Tsutsumi again just stalking forward. Ashfaq carrying that lead, right hand low, trying to draw Tsutsumi in to counter punch. Big right uppercut there from Tsutsumi, followed by the left hook as well. Real physically strong look around this Japanese fighter Tsutsumi as he drills in the right hand again. Good finish to the round.
Yeah, that's a decent opening round, that, for Tsutsumi. Ashfaq just finding it a little bit difficult to really establish a presence in the contest so far. Trained down in Gainsborough nowadays with the Trentside gym. New gym down there, which has only been open for about 2.5 years, and what a performance it would be if Ashfaq were able to win this one. A silver medalist in the Commonwealth Games when they were staged in Glasgow back in 2014. Lost to Michael Conlon in the final. I've seen his brother here tonight, incidentally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Michael may be here as well. And I saw that he also lost to Michael Conlon in the European finals 2 years after that as well. So you know, listen, this kid was a very decent amateur, just not quite delivered as a professional. This is a big opportunity for him here to get himself right back in the mix, but a good start there from the Japanese fighter, Tatsumi.
We're having one of those late-night conversations that commentators and analysts and pundits do, which probably 90% of the world would find hugely boring, but we were talking about terrific amateur fighters who never really made it as a pro, and Kez Ashfaq, I'm sure, would not want to be a member of that list. So far, though, a chance that he could be. Tatsumi winning that first round and winning it clearly for me.
Yeah, physical presence in there from Tatsumi as he held centre of the ring, comes in hands held high, drills in a right uppercut there. He's very good at faking whether it's going to go to the body or to the head. Big left hook over the top as well, and Ashfaq's finding things hard here at the beginning of this second round. Only 45 seconds gone, and Tatsumi applying a lot of pressure.
Trying to provide a mobile target is Ashfaq, keeping on his toes and circling the ring this way and that, and he takes a big right hand and goes jelly-legged for a moment. That's a terrific punch from Tatsumi, and now is he going to be able to follow it up? Ashfaq wants to hold on and buy a few seconds to allow his senses to clear and to regroup. That was the best punch of the fight so far by a distance. Big right hand.
Yeah, brilliant shot there from Tatsumi, and Ashfaq moving around the perimeter trying to get away, but Tatsumi doing a brilliant job of cutting off the ring, pinning Ashfaq in the corners. Ashfaq throws the right uppercut, but Tatsumi comes back with one of his own.
He came back with a good body shot. There's a good left hand as well from Ashfaq, who's really dug in here in this second round. Must realise that he lost the opener, and also realise that he's now shipped punishment for the best punch of the fight so far, thrown by the Japanese super featherweight who made his pro debut just 3 years ago. Ashfaq's been a pro since 2017, initially turning over with Haymaker and then part of the Matchroom team, and now looking to produce a real worthwhile performance here. But Tatsumi again lands a big right hand, and every time they get into real positions where they exchange power shots, it seems that the edge is with the Japanese fighter.
Yeah, Tatsumi making Ashfaq work very hard in there at the moment, doing a great job of cutting off the ring. He's just stalking forward, holding that back foot and pivoting round. Body shot slams in as well. And John, you can hear the crispness of the shots. You know, we know when you get someone special come along. And this Tatsumi, he may be that kid.
Well, he's economical in his movement, doesn't waste much, and no doubt he's watched that great Japanese hero Inoue and seen how he works. Good right hand, left hand from Ashfaq, but then he goes down again. Caught on the turn, and the referee's given it a knockdown. Ashfaq thinks that it shouldn't have been a knockdown, but that's going to be a 10-8 round now in favour of the Japanese fighter, and things are looking pretty bleak now for Ashfaq as we go into his corner and hear what his trainer's making of it.
Deep breath back. That flash shot. Deep breath. What second phase on it for me? Yeah? You're putting that first phase on him. You're putting the first one, then you're resetting off, waiting him to go. 1, 2, put his first phase in, adjust, and then put the second phase in, all right? Think of your ring position. It's good. You're having a lot of success in bouncing around. Just build a little second phase in. Deep breath. Maintain that shape for me. How do you feel? Legs all right? Legs all right? Keep nice and busy. You'll get a second win. Get through the round. Let's go.
Well, there wasn't really a clear punch which sent him down for that knockdown, but it was given as a count, so one would assume that that's going to go down as a 10-8 round. What did you make of the advice from Ryan Vickers?
Yeah, but listen, he's right in what he says, go phase 1, phase 2, but when you're boxing a guy that seems levels above you, it's very, very difficult, as Tatsumi starts off and slams the jab in Ashfaq's face again. But yeah, you can just see here, John, that there is levels to this game, and Ashfaq, who's a brilliant amateur, has not quite cut it as a pro. Tatsumi looks like he's suited to this game, a real physical presence about this young man. Great shot selection as well, as he pins Ashfaq in the blue corner again, slams in the body shot. But yeah, what I made of that knockdown at the end of the round there, John, was the shot landed. It was like a delayed reaction, but it looked like he half sort of wanted to go down there as well. It was a big shot to the back of the head. So I think it was legitimate.
Amir Khan sitting on the far side of the ring. We had a chat with him yesterday, and I have to say, for those who didn't see that on our podcast, he does look terrifically well. 38 years old now, and looks physically in great shape. And lovely to see him looking as though he's still enjoying being around the boxing world so much. He was fascinated, wasn't he, by the fact that Ricky Hatton's talking about having a fight over here.
Absolutely was, and then maybe open to those negotiations. Never say never. It was a fight that we always wanted to see but didn't see. Two great icons of British boxing. Big right hand goes in there. Ashfaq goes down, complains to the ref, but John, that was legitimate.
Well, it was a body shot that does the damage. He said he was pulled down with a shot around the back of the head by Tatsumi, but in this third round, Ashfaq is being absolutely outgunned here, and I can't see any way. Oh, he's down again with the left hand, second time in the round, and there's no way this is going to go the distance. The referee's going to have a close look here, and the Polish referee asks him to walk forward, and he's slow to do so, and he's always allowing it to go forward, and I thought for a moment he was going to stop it there and then, and here comes Tatsumi trying to end this fight, and he ends it, the referee, just as the towel was about to be thrown in by the Ashfaq corner, and Tatsumi absolutely outclassed his Leeds-based opponent here, and he looks a very good fighter.
Yeah, he certainly does. That's 5 knockouts on the spin now for Tatsumi, as he goes 8-0 with 5 of those by KO. You heard the name Noya Nui, arguably pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. Well, I tell you what, keep a close eye on this kid, because he looks the real deal. That was a good performance there, workman-like performance against a former Olympian. Yes, all right, Ashfaq's not quite cut it as a pro, but still a decent campaigner. And the way that Tatsumi done that, Gareth A. Davis, was very, very impressive.
I like the way the Japanese genre right now, this era of fighters, Junto Nakatani, the great Noya Nui, Tatsumi here, just once they smell blood, they go for it. They let their hands go. They're almost like the Mexicans of old. They've developed that style, that they have a warrior spirit. We have to celebrate and give rest in peace to 2 Japanese fighters that died a week ago, by the way. These guys give their all in the ring. They've closed down, by the way, 12-round fights, national fights, to 10-round fights now in Japan as a result. But like you say, these guys, they're built right for these lower weight divisions. They are the big men in many ways. There aren't many super middles. There's very little over middleweight in Japan. They tend to be the lighter men. You know, you had a Japanese Mexican fighting style yourself. Look at the punches here, the hooks. Some of those punches do look behind the ear to me, by the way. But Ashfaq was complaining too much. The referee stopped it at the right time, in my view, Spencer Oliver.
Yeah, perfect stoppage there. Every shot was a hurtful shot from Tatsumi. Body ahead, shot selection was brilliant, and it was everything. Uppercuts, hooks, body shots. Referee done a great job there. You know, John, I think that was a perfect stoppage. We don't want to see fighters taking too much punishment.
Absolutely.
And right from the opening bell, Ashfaq was in big, big trouble.
He outgunned him, didn't he? Totally. He was absolutely on top from word go, and no question who was going to emerge the winner. He had him down in the second round, the end coming in the third, and absolutely dominating Kez Ashfaq who gave it a good go but just wasn't good enough here. And maybe we should remember the name, Hayato Tsutsumi. It could be another Japanese star in the making, and in a moment or two we're going to get confirmation of the result from Thomas Treiber. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 8 seconds of round number 3. Our referee in charge, Leszek Jankowiak, stops the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and from Tokyo, Japan, Hayato Tsutsumi.
Yes, scintillating stuff there from Tsutsumi. Had way too much for Ashfaq. I'm alongside the three-weight world champion Duke McKenzie, and it was the professionalism, wasn't it? The composure of Tsutsumi that saw him through. What could Ashfaq have done better, though, in that fight?
Really, not a lot. He was outgunned. I think with Tsutsumi, he's got a very professional style where the other kid, Ashfaq, fought very much with the same amateur style, hands up, chin down, trying to fight off the back foot. You can't really be like that as a pro. So at some point, particularly in the early rounds, you have to stamp your authority, which he clearly couldn't do or wasn't allowed to do. But Tsutsumi looks like he's a handful for anybody at this level.
Do you think he could be a future star?
He's definitely a future star. I think he looks very, very composed. He's got a high work rate, hits quite solidly, it would appear. I think that's his 5th stoppage back-to-back now, so he's on a roll.
What can it be like? It wouldn't have happened often with you, Duke, but when you get into a ring and you know that there's that gap in class, how difficult is that for someone like Ashfaq stepping into that kind of situation?
Well, he was outgunned in every department. Height, reach, power. He started on the back foot, which isn't always a good way to start a fight unless you're heavy-handed and you can turn it around. But he doesn't hit hard enough, unfortunately, to have that kind of a style. He's not the biggest sort of junior lightweight stroke super featherweight in the world, and like I say, he couldn't really. Maybe if he drops down a weight, because it looked like a lightweight against the featherweight.
Absolutely. Right then, Tsutsumi, the victor in that one. A bit later on, we've got Nick Ball against Sam Goodman before the main event, which we are building up to. Moses Itauma up against Dillian Whyte in a heavyweight clash. So much on the line for that one. But Duke, I want to chat to you about another heavyweight, Anthony Joshua, because there is so much talk about him potentially taking quite a strange fight. It's getting so much conversation, isn't it, up against the YouTuber Logan Paul. Let's hear from Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn now. He joined the breakfast show on talkSPORT earlier this week and was asked about the possibility of a bout of his men getting in the ring with a YouTuber.
I never thought I'd be talking to you, Alan, about AJ fighting Jake Paul, if I'm honest. It's definitely a fight that we are talking about. It's definitely a fight that is fairly close. Bizarrely, this young man in Jake Paul thinks he can win the fight. I'm never going to sit here and tell you that it's competitive. I think it's a mismatch. But I know there's a lot of people that would, take enjoyment to see Jake Paul get knocked spark out and maybe eradicated from the sport of boxing. AJ's definitely the man up for the assignment. So, in this situation, you're better off just being honest. People say to me, what is there to gain out of the fight? And I just say this. This is one of the biggest events in boxing. It would be one of AJ's biggest paydays in boxing. And as I said, I quite fancy sitting ringside watching Jake Paul get knocked spark out. Now, listen, we'll see if that happens. And we've got lots of opportunities. It's Anthony Joshua. Everybody's calling him out. But it all comes down to Jake Paul. If he truly wants to step up to the challenge... But, this is very, very dangerous. And I said to his manager the other day, people around the world will tune in for this, for the danger. And we've got to be a little bit careful at the same time. I said to the manager, I said, this is a bit like, when you used to tune in to watch David Blaine and see if he could get out the box or not. And it's like, is he going to be all right? I don't know. This is like that. But I said to Jake Paul, you ain't in a box, mate, and this ain't David Blaine. I said, so just be careful, because AJ will take your head clean off your shoulders, and it's dangerous. And you take on that responsibility, and we all have to. So we got to think about that. But this is Anthony fighting a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. It's not something that we would normally do. But we also, and we know the size of the fight commercially, so pretty close. And I wouldn't be surprised if this happens next.
The thoughts of Eddie Hearn there. What are your thoughts on this, Duke McKenzie? Should Joshua take this fight on? Should it be allowed to happen?
I think it's a very dangerous fight because we've got a trained athlete who's 18 stone plus against a much smaller guy who really he's not, he hasn't earned the right, I don't believe, to fight Anthony Joshua. It's not like he's beaten 4 or 5 top line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxed any heavyweights. So the question has to be asked: why is this fight happening now? Eddie Hearn's clearly stated for commercial reasons. It's a blockbuster fight. So when you look at it in its purest form, they're fighting for the money purely. There's no title on the line. So it's right and it's wrong. It's right. It's an easy fight for AJ if he wants to get 100 million.
It's the easiest fight of his career.
It'll be the easiest fight of his career if he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat. You take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's number one contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, should I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy in hospital? All the money in the world is not going to put his health back together again. So you really got to take a good look at this fight and say to yourself, is it worth it? It would appear that some boxers want to take that risk, and it's really, your health is your wealth.
And it's like Eddie Hearn said there, it's almost as if people will be tuning in for that danger, which adds to it, doesn't it?
Of course it does. It does add to it, and people will tune in to see Jake Paul get sparked. But we just hope I don't want him to get seriously hurt, and that's my real worry, my real fear for the man, is that he gets seriously hurt.
It's interesting. You brought up AJ Stock. I want to bring in Spencer Oliver on this. We know how close, Spence, you are with Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, he's a 2-time unified heavyweight world champion. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's one of the great stars of the sport in the last decade or so. Does taking a fight with Jake Paul affect his legacy at all? Is that something he'll be thinking about?
No, it won't affect his legacy in the long run, I don't think. I think it's about when he takes that fight with Jake Paul. You've got to remember, on the commercial value of this, there's a huge amount of money for zero risk at all. I think he goes in there and he ices him out, but I agree with you. Who's going to commission it? Who sanctions it? And God forbid something did happen, because we're talking about levels here. A 2-time world heavyweight champion, a former Olympic gold medalist. We're talking about that going in against a kid that was on the Disney Channel, done a bit of YouTube boxing, has never really boxed anyone of any substance in the professional ranks. Tommy Fury was the best guy he boxed, and he lost to him. This is all about levels. So, look, I believe that AJ's next move, and I know what he wants to do, and that's become a 3-time world heavyweight champion. So he'll see what happens. Alexander Usyk at the moment is out with injury. He's asked for an extension with the WBO. We'll see what happens with all the other belts. And if one of those belts, if they fragment and one of them becomes vacant, you might find AJ boxing in Africa. I know there's interest over there. A certain Tony Yoka, Olympic gold medalist, he's thrown his name in the hat. That's something that could quite happen. That could be a fight that happens out of nowhere. Tony Yoka has more value in a professional boxing ring for sure than Jake Paul does. So, some people may say, well, that's not a good enough fight. But if there's a world title on the line and there's a former Olympic champion in front of you and there's that opportunity, that's your route.
Can I just throw something in here? It just strikes me that once upon a time, the British Boxing Board of Control would have weighed in big time on this one and said that there is no way that Jake Paul should be in the same ring.
Well, it's a load of things to go over here, gents. Look, it shouldn't be sanctioned or licensed anywhere, that's a fact. I spoke to Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith on the way in here tonight, and I can reveal now Anthony Joshua will earn £80 million for fighting Jake Paul. Commercially, it's a win-win for him. Morally, it's a lose-lose for boxing. Medically, it's a lose-lose for boxing. We will get away with it if Jake Paul does not get horribly injured by Anthony Joshua. The 2 former fighters on our panel tonight, they know that another fighter is not going to say no to earning that amount of money. Anthony Joshua's earned the right to be that commercially big. Jake Paul has earned the right to be that commercially big. but athletically, they do not belong in a boxing ring anywhere in this universe.
Duke, even with that money on the line for Anthony Joshua, which is absolutely eye-watering, what we've just heard there from Gareth A. Davies, should he be the one to take that moral decision anyway, realise that he could seriously hurt someone like Jake Paul and say, no, I'm not doing this?
Well, let's get it right. I don't really think Joshua... I don't know who could walk away from 80 million. It's a huge payday and it's an easy fight. Will that be enough to rattle Anthony Joshua's conscience and make him take that decision and say, you know what, I'll pass on the 80 million? Probably not, because he can probably end the fight in a round or two. And what I hope doesn't happen is that there's some clause in the contract where they've got to wear like 30-ounce gloves or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, I mean, because you got to err on the side of caution at all times. But no, I don't think Anthony Joshua will walk away from a huge payday like that.
Spencer, what do you make of that?
Yeah, exactly that. Anthony Joshua, why would he walk away from that with an easy win? But I just don't believe that will be his next move. He'll be seeing what's going on with these heavyweight titles right now, and I know that Frank Smith was on a plane. He went over to Ghana. He's met up with Legacy Rise and the president's son over there, Sharif, and there's big talks about a fight happening over there. Anthony Joshua, I was over there with him in Ghana just a few weeks ago, and he's got a real appetite for fighting over there. So that could be the next move. There's so many moving parts at the moment, we don't know. Could be Jake Paul, could be Tony Yoka, could be a vacant world title.
It could be. There's loads of options always on the table for Anthony Joshua. My view is this. He'll fight Jake Paul first. That'll be in America. It'll be Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It'll be a massive event. Joshua, remember, is signed to DAZN, so that'll be a DAZN event. Then he'll go to Ghana and fight Yoka. And then, God willing, inshallah, let him fight Tyson Fury, John Rawling, at some point before this era is up.
Hurrah! Please, 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 at last.
Well, I've got Duke McKenzie here shaking his head at that. Why is that, Duke? Is that because you don't think it will happen, or because you don't think it would be the spectacle we've made it out to be because it's too late?
I cannot see the Fury fight happening. It should have happened 5 years ago. It's not going to happen now. And there are, as we know, there are much easier fights out there for Anthony Joshua to make a bigger fortune than he already has. Jake Paul, as an example. If Fury wanted to fight and AJ both wanted to fight, the fight would have happened by now. And I'm sure the public are just sick of hearing that fight being mooted for a time on a place. But we all know it's not going to happen.
Duke, I don't agree with it. No, guys, we don't know it's not going to happen. It might happen in a year from now. It might happen in 18 months from now. And people will be saying it should have been 6 years ago. We had it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather all those years ago. Yes, we know that Joshua and Fury nearly stepped in a ring nearly 5 years ago in a two-fight deal that was going to be out here in Saudi Arabia. Honestly, Duke, there is so much money in that fight. It's such a big commercial and book-ending fight for the era. I think they've still got 18 months left to do it. Everyone will boo and hiss that it's too late, but we'll all watch it. I do agree that Fury right now doesn't want it, but we know in the background that Joshua wants to fight Fury. The problem is they're so wealthy, they don't have to do it. I do think we get this fight. That's my sounding in the background from Spencer Brown, from Frank Warren and from Fury's team.
Is this before or after the Netflix series that Fury's doing, Gareth? Because if he's doing his
This is after the Netflix series.
He's not doing a Netflix?
He's diving into the sea like a whale at the moment. He's getting remarried to Paris.
There you go.
He's saying that's a job at the moment.
Listen,
Once that series is over,
that means
we'll
the fight's
get it.
off the table then, doesn't it, mate? Let's get it right. If he's getting married again and he's doing deep sea diving and he's Mr. Celebrity then, isn't he? He's not really thinking about fighting. His heart's not in it, so that fight won't happen.
I don't agree with you, but We'll hold it for now. In a year and a half's time, we can shake on it.
We can. I'll tell you what, guys. If Oasis can come back, surely this fight might be able to happen. Spencer, I just want to pick up on a man you've mentioned a couple of times, by the way, Tony Yoka, because he was on talkSPORT this week. He was talking about wanting to arrange that fight with Joshua. He's desperate for it, isn't it? And it was interesting because he was talking about the fact that Joshua's name just still carries so much weight. He said, I can fight other boxers, but beating Anthony Joshua seriously boosts that chance of a title shot. Even if it is post Jake Paul, do you think that is the most likely fight for Joshua next?
Well, it's the safest fight for Joshua next, isn't it? When you look at where Joshua's sat in his career right now, there's some dangerous young fighters coming up. And I know what Anthony Joshua's dream is, and that is to become three-time world heavyweight champion. And, you know, he's well ranked with the governing bodies at the moment. You know, Tony Yoka, there's history there with these two. Anthony Joshua being a 2012 Olympic gold medalist. Tony Yoka beating Joe Joyce, actually, in the 2016 Olympics. You know, he went off the rails a little bit, Yoka, after an unbeaten run. He lost a couple of fights on the spin, and last time out against Carlos Takam, his last loss, against Carlos Takam, you know, he was going through personal problems there, looked, you know, a shell of his former self, but since then has come back, had a good win last time out. He's had 2 or 3 wins on the bounce. I know it's a fight that he fancies. It's a fight that you could sell commercially with 2 Olympic gold medalists. That doesn't come round a lot. And more importantly, Anthony Joshua would see that as a huge winnable fight.
Gareth, just very quickly, someone like Tony Yoka, do you think he has the capability to beat someone like Joshua?
No, but he's plausible, because everyone's saying he's won an Olympic gold. I don't think he did win it, by the way, in Rio 2016. I thought he lost to Joe Joyce in that final. I was there. But the key is that they can sell that fight, and he's viable, and he's of African heritage, so it works in Ghana with Joshua and Yoka. For those reasons, it does really work.
Okay, so many moving parts. Right, thanks for joining us on talkSPORT 2, but follow us over to talkSPORT now as we edge ever closer to the main event. If you've got the talkSPORT app, you can swipe between the stations, because coming up, we'll bring you a tasty tussle between Nick Ball and Sam Goodman for the WBA super featherweight title. But before, the emerging star Moses Itauma takes on Dillian Whyte. What does it take to become a superstar? 20-year-old Moses Itauma has the world at his feet. 12 wins, 10 knockouts, fast feet, explosive punches, fiery, fearless, and so far unstoppable. He's being billed as a future star of the heavyweight division. But tonight, he'll face his biggest test yet. Dillian Whyte, looking lean and mean, stands in his way. The 37-year-old has got all the experience of a night like this, but it could be win or bust for the old warrior. So settle in, because the headline act will follow a thrilling undercard. The stage is set in Saudi for a scintillating showdown, and you'll hear it all unfold live on talkSPORT.
A lot of people are basically just saying, like, yeah, I'm going to knock him out.
Moses Itauma can take him out right now.
And, like, I probably would.
Everyone tells me that he is the future.
This kid is going to be the next face of British boxing.
I've said this from the beginning, from when he was 18, 19. He's it. He is it.
Moses Itauma!
I keep proving people wrong, and it's kind of weird. I'm going to have to prove them right this time.
Continue. Moses Itauma
ready to dust up and have it. This fight here, make or break.
Let's go! I'm ready!
What a night we've had so far over in Saudi Arabia, and still so much in store. I'm Ollie Klink. Thanks for joining us. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT, and the big fight, Itauma against Whyte, is fast approaching. I'm alongside the former three-weight world champion, Duke McKenzie. Duke, what can we expect from the big one tonight?
I think it's going to be an amazing spectacle. I really believe that. I mean, Itauma's had the big build-up, and he's never failed to deliver as yet. I don't think tonight would be any exception. He knows that this is like his sort of coming-of-age fight. He's fighting a seasoned veteran in Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte should give us all the answers that we need to know about this young man.
OK, before that, we've got more action from the undercard, and it's a big one. Nick Ball in defence of his WBA world title, with a chance to kick on from here and fight for further glory. In his way, a dangerous man from down under, Sam Goodman, looking to announce himself on the world stage. The final fight before the main event, taking you through the action live ringside in Riyadh, is the former European champion Spencer Oliver alongside John Rawling.
This is a featherweight battle, WBA title up for grabs, and Sam Goodman undefeated in 20 fights. Nick Ball with the one draw to his name, 22 fights as victorious, and he's now defending his title here. And a question, how good's he going to look? There's been talk about big fights in the future. He talked about Inoue, the Japanese superstar who's had 27 stoppage wins in 30 victories, and maybe Nick Ball wants that. Be careful what you ask for, that's what I'd say.
Well, Nick Ball, you know, he wants those tests, he wants those big fights as he pushes out the jab there, slams in the left hook as well there. Sam Goodman done well to take that shot. Goodman just holding centre of the ring here. Nick Ball boxing well on the outside, but you can see that ferocious Tyson-esque type style that Nick Ball has. Goodman coming back there, John, with a good jab though.
Goodman, who's moving up from super bantamweight, last fought in May, and of course he was victorious there. Nick Ball, the feeling is that he should just physically maybe just have a bit too much for Sam Goodman. I spoke to Nick Ball's trainer Paul Stevenson, and he said that he reckons that the style of Goodman should be made to measure.
Yep, I think exactly the same. Goodman, from what I've seen of him, he's got a high output, a high work rate, but walks in straight lines, and you can't do that with someone with the adaptability of Nick Ball, who can box on the front foot, loves to come forward, tearing away on the front foot, but can change your pattern as well. We saw that last time out against Kahini, and lovely right hand over the top again there from Nick Ball. Rapid start here.
Kahini, who took Sam Goodman the distance, was stopped by Nick Ball, and as Spencer was just telling you that little observation. There were a couple of crunching right hands went in from Bull, and already signs in this opening round that the artillery that Bull possesses is likely to prove a little bit too much for the man from Albion Park in New South Wales. But he comes back now and lands a good punch of his own. The referee says, watch it to both of them. We want no illegality.
Yep, just poke the bear though, because Nick Bull didn't like that, and we know what he's like. And there he goes again with a left hook. Right hand goes in as well. 10-second clacker has just gone, and it's a good start. Physically strong start here from Nick Bull in the opening round.
Yeah, good effort that. Good opening round for Bull. Pride of the Everton Red Triangle, Jim, of course, and his gym mate has made his way over here, Andrew Kane, and he'll be at ringside somewhere watching on. And I think that was a fairly satisfactory opening round, wasn't it, for Bull?
Yep, dominating opening round there from Bull, who was boxing, you know, just a little bit on the outside, but was being very explosive, leading off, getting through a good left hooks, good right hands. Stan Goodman taking the centre of the ring, trying to take control of the contest, but just a split second too slow to get off of his own shots. Good start there from the champion.
You're listening to Nick Bull against Sam Goodman, WBA featherweight title fight at the ANB Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, here on talkSPORT. It's round 2 coming up, and we are building up to our main event of Moses Itauma against Dillian Whyte. Ring walks will be 10 o'clock earliest for that one here. And I think that is going to be some fight. And will it be the one where Itauma finally announces himself as the man to follow? Just 20 years old. Astonishing, that.
Yeah, it really is. The acid test for Moses Itauma, who's hot on everyone's lips at the moment. Many talk about the best prospects in world heavyweight boxing. We find that out very soon against Dillian Whyte, the proven fighter. But back to this one, Nick Bull versus Sam Goodman. And good work again from Nick Bull here in this second round.
But he had to ship a left hook as he went in close, and there's a bit of reddening around the nose of Nick Bull, indicating that Goodman has found the target on more than one occasion. Bull, who's stocky, stands just 5'2", 65-inch reach. Goodman dominating physically, very much taller, and the referee, Mick Culloy, steps between them and stops the action. And now they stand centre ring, and who's going to take the dominant move from here? There is a bit of marking around the face of Bull.
Yep, Stan Goodman not done a bad job here. He's holding his ground. He's not being bullied in this one. It looks like he's got a decent jab, nice right hand as well. So the Aussie is doing all right here. Maybe not winning these rounds, John, at the moment, or at the beginning of this contest, but he's certainly holding his ground.
Yeah, and he certainly fancied his chances. He was talking very much about his ambition to win this title and to upset all the big plans for Bull's future, and he believes that he's got the style to do it. A few have said he's too one-dimensional, and he said prior to this, well, I hear what people have said, but watch me tonight. Let's see.
Yep, I had an interview with him earlier on in the week, actually, and he pulled me up on that and said, I saw your comments about me being a little too one-dimensional and Nick Bull would be a little bit too much. Well, let me tell you, Spence, I'm going to show you some boxing IQ, and I'm going to show you that I belong in this level. He's not doing bad at the moment, John.
He's not doing badly at all, and just uses his reach there to turn Bull around, and he gets in close there, a little bit of a clinch, and Bull just pushes him away. Jab from Goodman. Has the reach advantage and trying to work it to his advantage, waiting for Bull to commit himself. Bull falls short with an overhand right, and Goodman hails from New South Wales in Australia. He says in his more belligerent moments that he would just walk through Nick Bull. Well, he's not doing that so far. That's a big call. There's not too many who've come close to doing that. And the last few seconds of this second round now, and another round maybe for Nick Bull, but Goodman very competitive in there and having his moments.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It was a good round there from Nick Ball, who done enough to win the round. But Goodman showing that he's more than capable, holding centre of the ring, working well off the jab, right hand through the middle as well. And Nick Ball just maybe struggling right now to figure it all out, or just taking his time, should I say. It's probably a better way of putting it, to work it all out, not doing anything stupid, but a positive start from the Australian Sam Goodman. But Nick Ball, for me, winning those first 2 rounds.
They're working away at a little bit of swelling over Goodman's left eye. Nothing too serious so far. The words of advice coming for him there. And there's definitely a little bit of a mouse underneath the left eyebrow of Sam Goodman. A reminder, you can watch along with us ringside here in Riyadh. Head over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel over right now to get involved. This is the build-up to Moses Itauma against Dillian Whyte, the big heavyweight action live on the home of boxing, talkSPORT.
Yep, Nick Ball again starting very ferociously in this 3rd round, coming forward, looking to dominate, taking the centre of the ring. Good shot there, though, body shot from Sam Goodman. Nick Ball takes it well. Hands held high.
Signs not great there for Ball. He took a solid straight right, and the left, which thudded into his solar plexus. I think he felt the weight of this one, and another one hammers in. Back comes Ball, trying to be the aggressor, aiming for headshots, but the better work in that exchange came from the 26-year-old Australian.
Yep, lovely right hand through the middle there from Goodman as well. He's doing better in this 3rd round. 1 minute gone, 2 minutes to go, and it's been a good start to this from Sam Goodman.
Yeah, very much in this fight, and any suggestion that he was going to be outclassed or overwhelmed by Nick Ball, who was a big favourite in this fight, so far as the bookies were concerned, well, it's not turned out that way so far. And the gum shield has come out, the gum shield of Sam Goodman. He's led back to his corner by the referee, and the action now is underway once more as we near the halfway stage of the 3rd round. Good right hand from Ball, but taken well by Goodman, who's already showing that he's got a good chin in here, and lands another solid left hook to the body of Ball.
Yeah, Goodman come with a good game plan here, because he's holding that centre of the ring where Nick Ball likes to be. He's feinting up and down, and he's punching when Nick Ball's punching. That's where he's getting success. Jab, double jab, slams in the face there of Nick Ball. Nick Ball just struggling to try and work this out at the moment, and Goodman just seems to be getting in a rhythm, and dare I say it, doing enough to win this round so far.
He certainly is doing, no question about it. Minute to go in this 3rd round. Tries to land a right hand in close. Ball. It was a clubbing shot to the side of the head, and the referee tells Goodman off about leading in behind his head, and a nod of acknowledgement as the action gets underway again with 45 seconds to go in this 3rd round. Good body shot from Goodman. Hammers it home. It was low. It wasn't low, rather. It was absolutely on target. Referee has to split them again, and Ball is not having a good round here and has looked distinctly uncomfortable at times. 25 seconds to go in round 3.
Yeah, we saw this in his last fight, Nick Ball against TJ Donaghy. He didn't have it his own way, but he showed that he could adapt, and he turned things around in the 2nd half of the contest before eventually stopping Donaghy in the 10th. And he may have to do the same here, because it's a good round from the Australian.
Yep,
Sam Goodman.
The Australian's taking this round clearly for me. I wonder how Ball's trainer, Paul Stevenson, the boss of the Red Triangle Gym, is seeing things. So far, it's turning out to be a tough night. Let's listen in to the Ball corner.
Okay, we're getting to him, you know what I mean? We've got to come in punching quite often. We're coming in not doing much there. He's just jabbing and moving or grabbing, you know what I mean? It's coming in punching, letting our hands go, that good variety, quick right hand down the middle, some of the good body and head work, you know what I mean? Position him. If you're missing the right hand, follow through with the shift. Got to follow through with the shift.
Nice big boxing, we're not wrestle, okay? Right. I got it. He's over it.
So let it flow now. Don't walk in, don't punch it, don't wait for it to be perfect. Come in and just monster him, you know what I mean? Let your hands go. Keep it tight and tidy. Throw your punches on the way in, okay? Be busy.
Well, no sense of panic or great worry in that corner. Paul Stevenson, very experienced trainer nowadays, and what talent they've got in that Liverpool gym.
Yep, they certainly have. Success breeds success, and Nick Ball is a success story. You know, you only get out what you can put in this game, and this kid lives, eats, sleeps it, and we've seen him improving, developing, and growing into a great champion, John. But I tell you what, it's going to be a tough night for him, this one. I've got Ball 2 rounds to 1 up, but it's been a very close, tough ball contest so far.
Well, I've got it level because I gave that second round a 10-10. I don't like doing that, but I thought Goodman did enough to certainly get a share of it. And Andy Lee, who's scoring for DAZN, has actually got Goodman 2-1 up at this point. Interesting fight panning out, and Bull will just try to vary his approach here, as you heard Paul Stevenson telling him that he had to do. But Goodman is standing tall, centre ring, trying to dominate the space.
I tell you what, big 1-2 there from Goodman. Nick Ball just fell short with a right hand, left uppercut screw, and Goodman made him pay for that. He's controlling the space very well here, Goodman, just shuffling in and out, and Nick Ball doesn't seem to have found any sort of rhythm, any sort of timing at the moment, and Goodman growing into this one as he takes him to the ring, approaching the 1 minute 30 second mark of this full round, and another good round there, I say, by Goodman.
So far, good left hand though from Bull. He needed that one, needed to find a way back into it. He absorbed a terrific left hook to the body to Sam Goodman. The back comes Bull now. Left hand to the head. He came jumping forward, trying to capitalise on the opening which maybe was created by that solid right hand. And this is more like the Bull that we know. He's a wrecking machine. Good uppercut inside. Back comes Goodman with a nice right hand counter of his own. This is the big undercard support fight for our main event tonight, which is a heavyweight clash between Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte here on talkSPORT. Don't leave us, don't miss it, stay with us, and if you want to actually watch the action live, you can do so live on DAZN.
Yeah, Nick Ball really trying to bite down on his gum shield here, turn the screw a little bit, and he's having success. Goodman holding his ground. He doesn't want to give up centre of the ring there as he slams out a jab. Right hand, uppercut, right hand again there. Nick Ball pinned on the ropes, a little bit too slow to cut back. Misses with a left hook as well. Good work there from Goodman.
Good left hand from Goodman did get through. It's a left hook which crunched into the body of Bull, who tries to come out of that crouching stance of his and throw fast hooks, but he takes 2 more. But back he comes with a good right hand of his own. Good exchange, both men landing solid shots there in the last 10 seconds of the round. And Gareth Davies turning out to be a good fight, this.
Absolutely brilliant so far. Good, they've both got a common opponent, remember, TJ Doheny, and Goodman had to work him out as well and beat him on points. As you said, Spence, Nick Ball beat him up eventually, but was frustrated early on. Goodman's doing everything he needs to do right. He's got a great chin, he's getting Ball's respect, he's using his reach advantages with a strong double jab with his left hand to get himself in, and doing a good job. But wait for this, I've got a poll as well. Who wins tonight's main event, Moses Itauma or Dillian Whyte? With our talkSPORT viewers, they're not going with the bookies. Moses Itauma, 58%. Dillian Whyte, 42%. The public have got it closer than perhaps we have.
That's interesting, because Itauma has been a massive favourite with the bookies. And certainly if you're just going to back on the victory, he was almost unbackable, wasn't he, Spencer?
Yep, he certainly was. And this one here, John, I'm really excited about. Heating up lovely. 2 rounds apiece for me. Sam Goodman, Nick Ball. Really nice little contest, this one, as Nick Ball again stalks forward. Misses wildly again with that left hook. Now, I must say, John, that left hook for him has fallen short. He lands that one though, but he needs to find some sort of rhythm. He needs to start getting into it, because he just looks like he's forcing it a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, he's found difficulty with Goodman, who just landed a really good right hand as you were talking there. Forward comes, oh, that's better from Bull. From Bull, lands a right hand and a left hand to the head. Oohs and ahs at ringside. Oohs and ahs from Gareth Davis watching on. He saw that and saw some quality work from Bull, and maybe for the first time there he really started to land some of those hooks which have become his trademark. As it goes longer though, how much will Bull be able to stay at this sort of pace? How tight has he been at the weight?
Well, I think more of the question is how much will Sam Goodman be able to stay at this pace? He's the one coming up from super bantamweight, and we've seen no signs of Nick Bull slowing down late in contests. If anything, he gets stronger. He did that against TJ Donaghy last time out, and he just seems to have figured it out a little bit in this 5th round. The best round by far from him so far. The success with the right hand's been brilliant. The left screw shot followed by that right hand is really working for him here.
Well, Goodman said he was going to walk through Bull, but at the moment in this round it's the other way round. Bull is coming forward, lands a right to the body, and the referee splits them, has to stop, has to say tidy the work up. Doesn't speak to either man, but allows the action now to continue. The two land simultaneously with left hand leads, both of them orthodox fighters. Left hook, right hook from Bull, replying to similar from Goodman. It's that sort of fight at the moment, but Bull, for me, is just having the advantage here. Nick Bull, who's defending this title, remember, the WBA featherweight title.
Yep, a mouse coming up under Nick Bull's right eye now. They're going to have to get to work on that in the corner, but what a little contest we've got here. We wasn't quite sure if Sam Goodman could live up to this with Nick Bull stepping up in weight, but boy, he's delivering. Real close contest there. Nick Bull having a better round here in the 5th, but it's still anyone's fight here.
And I have to say that Goodman, in the last 20 seconds or so, has boxed the better man in there. He's looked the better man. Last few seconds of the round, you hear the clapper to say we're in for the last 10 seconds. Oh, good body shot. Thunderous left hook from Nick Bull. Hammers into the body of Goodman, and there goes the bell to end another round, and we'll go into the blue corner, into the Goodman corner, and see how they're, and hear how they're reading it.
Come back. It should never have happened. You started that round looking to stick your head in. I wanted another round of what? Flatter and straighter. Okay? I wanted another round of flatter and straighter. You got fucking silly. But you came back out. You came back outstanding. And they're breathing in control. He's knocking up. Can you feel it? You just can't give him any joy.
Showed us how far.
Right? Outstanding. That's going to frustrate him. He ran dead. He couldn't keep coming after you. We're prepping the punch. Right? If he lunges and leaves, we convert. If we get underneath him like you are, brilliant. But we don't give him anything. Right? We're 5 in. Let's go.
Well, you get no half measures from Joel Keegan, giving a bit of old-fashioned Australian invective in the corner there. Apologies for that, as always.
I know that you love that sort of language going on in the corner, John, but that was great corner work there. I'm liking that old-school sort of stuff, really pumping your fighter up, because when fights get tough like this one, you can't feel sorry for yourself, and it's very easy to feel sorry for yourself when the action is a seesaw back and forth.
Australians tuning in, watching this one. Been a sad couple of days, still thinking, no doubt, about the death of the old Australian cricket captain, Bobby Simpson, this week, who became as well one of the great coaches of Australia as they became a dominant force in the late 80s and into the 1990s. And here, if Goodman were to win this one and take a world title back to Australia, it would not only be an upset, it would be a real fillip to Australian sport.
Yep, it would be a huge upset, and it would be our last remaining world champion currently that he'd be taking that world title from. Nick Bull, our only current world champion, fighting hard here to keep hold of that one. Good right hand there from Nick Bull.
Yeah, he's just seems to maybe just have the edge in power. Goodman trying to skip away from that dangerous right hand, using the ropes to do so, and then Bull falls short with an overhand right, and the left hook also falls short, and Goodman bullies him back onto the ropes on the far side of the ring, but they split of their own volition, and the action underway again. Midway stage of the 6th round, and Goodman, maybe in terms of punches thrown, is just having the advantage, although the power shots have certainly been thrown by Nick Bull.
Yep, lovely double jab there from Nick Bull, followed by a left hook. Goodman through a good left hook to the body, but simultaneously Nick Bull connected with a left hook to the head. Great work there. Bull stalking forward again. Goodman now changing tactics, moving from left to right, trying to create the space. That's where he's getting success at long range. Nick Bull looking to get on the inside. Here he comes, hands held high, tight in it. But Goodman getting up with good shots. Good left hook there from Nick Bull.
Yeah, he's enjoying a good spell here, and maybe having had 1 or 2 in different rounds earlier on where Goodman looked as though he had the style and the game plan to produce the upset, it may be here that we're starting to see Nick Bull beginning to get on top. Misses with an uppercut, lands with a right hand over the top, and then an uppercut inside, right hand, and it's just a bit more of a powder puff look about the jab of Goodman now. He's not throwing it with quite the authority that he did earlier on. Tries to throw a left to the body. A right hook from Goodman was parried by Bull, who looks for the uppercut with the left hand, followed up by the left and right hook. It's the last few seconds of the round, and another good round for Bull. Gives Goodman an old-fashioned look as he goes back to his corner. Duke McKenzie, you know a bit about featherweights. How are you rating this?
Yeah, I've got Bull winning 4-2. In terms of rounds, his work rate's is too much for Goodman right now. Goodman's not using his jab enough. He's trying to hold centre of the ring, but he's just not using his jab enough. He can't keep Bull off him, really. I would expect Bull to do a number on this kid in the next 2 or 3 rounds.
You reckon a stoppage is a possibility, Duke?
Yeah, I think he'll probably should get him out there by about 10. He's too busy, and he's finding a way in with Bull. He gets in with nice jabs and nice uppercuts. He's found his range again and got his confidence back after having 1 or 2 shaky early rounds, but he seems to have found his way now. Like I say, just oozing confidence.
Well, that was a clear round, wasn't it, Spenny, for Nick Bull, and despite the rallying cry from the corner, Sam Goodman didn't quite produce in that round.
Well, John, if you remember last time we was commentating on Nick Bull, that was TJ Donaghy, and he had problems in those early rounds, but he turned it around, he figured it out, and it's pretty simultaneous, this one, actually. His first 3 or 4 rounds was tough for Nick Bull. He was trying to work it out, but then he got a grip of it, and he seems to have got a grip of it now and landed a thunderous left hook here at the beginning of the 7th round.
It's all very subjective. Andy Lee's got this fight level. I've got Nick Bull a couple of points ahead. Well, have you got it, Gareth?
I got it 3-3 as well, same as Andy Lee.
Okay, fair enough.
No,
well,
I'm with you, John. I've got Nick Bull 2 rounds up as well. I think he's done enough in those last couple of rounds. The key shots, the heavier shots, the eye-catching scoring shots were all with Nick Bull.
Well, we're in the 7th round now. We're in the second half of the fight. So who's going to be the stronger? Who's going to have the greater energy in the rounds from here? And I thought that Bull had a good round in the last round. Others gave it the other way, though, and thought Goodman had taken it. It's that sort of a fight, though. Some of these rounds are close, and you might have possibly, if the fight continues from here in similar manner, you might have some strange scores coming in, and you might have disparity of views as to how it goes if it actually goes the distance. Duke thought it was going to be going the way of a Bull stoppage, and bearing that in mind, maybe Goodman at the moment, halfway through the 7th, is just rallying quite effectively here. Good jabs.
Yeah, good work from both guys in this 7th, very close one, and you're right, John, subjective scoring, what you like, what you're looking for, that bullish type Nick Bull work with the right hands over the top, the screw shots, lovely right uppercut on the inside as well. But equally, Sam Goodman's been boxing well at range, keeping the shots nice through the middle. But I agree with Duke McKenzie, not just doing enough though, and the eye-catching stuff for me with Nick Bull.
Minutes still to go though in this round, and it could still turn around maybe in the Australians' favour. Good body shot from Goodman, followed by an uppercut, and then he gets up on his toes and makes Bull miss with an overhand right, which came just through thin air. Another right hand from Bull, a glancing shot which just connected high on the forehead. Solid left hand though from Bull. Back comes Goodman with a good left hand of his own. Good quality, competitive fight, as you'd hope for, of course, for a world title fight with the WBA featherweight title at stake in our main support event. A world title fight prior to the big heavyweight clash between Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte. Those men will be getting gloved up and going through final preparations in the dressing room right now, and the start time for that is going to be sometime after 10 o'clock.
Yep, another close round there, but one that I just edged towards Nick Bull. Just seems to be taking hold of it a little bit. Goodman, for the first time, give up ground in the last 30 seconds of that round. He moved around, he was trying to switch from left to right. Is Nick Bull now starting to close the space? You know, making him work. Goodman's worked very, very hard in this one. And Nick Bull standing on his feet in the opposite corner, in the red corner. Looks very, very confident and ready to go as we look at our monitors and look at some of the action in that one, the slow motion. Good shots from Nick Bull.
Bit of kidology in the corner, isn't there? He's not sitting on his stool, he's staying upright, smiling across the ring, while Goodman is getting plenty of work and advice in his corner, has a towel draped across his head, another one across his shoulders, trying to keep him cool, trying to get energy into the Australian's legs. And now Nick Bull trying to show psychologically that he's still fighting in the comfort zone. Well, we'll see.
Yep, he's one of those rare breed fighters, an old throwback Nick Bull that seems to get stronger as those rounds go on, and his opponents really struggle in the penultimate rounds, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's when it gets tough. That's when Nick Bull, the wrecking ball, he gets going.
Championship rounds, they call them. There's a good overhand right from Bull, which landed. I don't think those in the bleachers saw that one, but it was a direct hit, and there's just a little bit of a groping look about the jab of Goodman now. He's not snapping it out with the authority that he did. Lovely screw shot, uppercut inside from Bull. 28 years old, the champion. He's 2 years older than the Australian, who sees this very much as a potentially life-changing opportunity. Nick Bull, the pride of Liverpool, is in no mood to surrender that world title. Pride of Liverpool, I suppose to be exact, I should say, the pride of Kirkby.
You know what, there's a switch in Nick Bull. Oh, lovely little right uppercut on the inside. Goodman, to his credit, trying to rally with him, trying to force him into throwing some shots, but that is danger for Goodman, who throws a left hook low. Referee tells him to keep it up. Nick Bull carries on, continues. Lovely uppercut on the inside from Bull.
There was another left hand on the blind side of the referee there from Goodman, which was definitely low. The referee didn't see it though and didn't call it, but Bull is coming back now, attempting to throw headshots. Keeps his gloves up, waiting for Goodman to commit himself and then trying to punish him with a left-hand counter. Good shots again towards the head. Good work from Bull, who came from a very low crouch. Very difficult for any opponent taller as Goodman is, some 5 inches taller. Punching down, a couple of good body shots from Goodman, but back came Bull with 2 of his own. Uppercut from Bull, right hand, then followed by a left-hand cross. Goodman tries to come back with power shots of his own, but another really good left uppercut from Bull, who's fighting, of course, out of the orthodox stance, and he's just, for me, just slightly getting the edge on work rate and on power once more.
Yet taking nothing away from Goodman, who's out doing some great work as he gets up on his toes again. Nick Bull just misses with a wild left hook, but Bull just seems to have an answer. Every time Goodman hits him with 2, Bull comes back with 3 or 4, and that's been the pattern of the contest so far. Nick Bull misses wildly with a right hand. Goodman, good work, makes him pay.
Yeah, came back with a solid body shot, but he's not in any mood for backing off now, Bull. He's on the front foot all the time, trying to force the fight and seem the aggressor to the judges at ringside, and he finishes the round strongly with a right hand, left hand, aimed towards the head of the Australian challenger, Sam Goodman. Gareth Davis, have you got Nick Bull winning this one?
I have. He's 5-3 up on my card now. Fantastic last 3 rounds. He's not Nick Bull, he's Nick Bull right now, and he is breaking Sam Goodman down. But what I do like about the Australian is when he's landing well to the body, he's just slowing Nick a little bit. He's a very smart boxer, Goodman. You can see why he's 20-0 with 8 stoppages. He doesn't carry a lot of power. By the way, if you're listening to us on the radio, you can watch us, remember, on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel right now. We're beaming live and direct from Riyadh.
Spencer, I've now got it 6-2. How did you have that last round?
Yeah, I'm with you, John. 6-2. I think that Nick Bull's doing the better work of the 2. Goodman, yeah, he's having some success, but he's not stopping Bull in his tracks, and there's been some close rounds, subjective rounds maybe, but for me, Bull doing the better work. 6-2 up, going into the night.
He's boxing well, Goodman, but you just get the feeling that he's going to have to find some real big power shots if he's going to seize advantage here. Boxed well in that last round and slips through another attack of Bull then, and he turned him round and landed a right hand to the body. On television, Andy Lee's got this fight level, so there you go. He's been a very high-class fighter in years gone by, as indeed is Spencer Oliver, my co-commentator as ever here at ringside, and we've got Bull, call him Bull now, I'm not at it. And we've got Bull ahead by 4 rounds. We've got it, but it is, as Spenny said, close, subjective. A lot of rounds have been tight, and it has to be said, Goodman has made a good start to this round. Good couple of body shots as I was finishing talking in that first minute.
Yeah, Bull's going to get told off there by the referee, holding the back of the head and throwing 2-3 uppercuts. Goodman, to his credit, just getting on with it. Good left hook to the body, left hook to the head there from Goodman, who's happy to trade punch for blow.
Well, he's got belief in his power, hasn't he? He said he was going to walk through, and he's still trying to do that. We expect Bull to finish strongly in the closing rounds here, as he so often does. But, Duke said that he thought that he was going to stop him in 9 or 10 rounds, and he's not done so as yet. But he did find a cracking uppercut there inside. Bull, who's so effective when he does get into the pocket.
Yeah, good round. It's another close round. Bull's working well on the inside with those uppercuts, but workmanlike from Goodman, who's working well at range, throws a double right hand, then pushes him off, slips inside. That left hook to the body, good from Goodman as well. This is a good round from the Australian, with just less than 1 minute to go.
Lands a good right hand, and the Australian corner right in front of where we're commentating are getting very excited indeed. Good response though from Bull. Lands a left hand and a right hand. 2 taken on the gloves, but 1 does get through. Now he's got his gloves held high, and underneath those elbows come a couple of hooks from Goodman. Good work again from the Australian, and I guess it had to be a good response from Bull. It was a quality right-hand headshot, then a right hook from Goodman. I better give a preemptive apology for some of the invective, which is surely going to come from the Australian trainer, Jack Keegan. We're going to be going into the Australian corner in just a second or 2. Good left hand from Goodman. He's finishing the round well. And is he winning this round, Spencer?
Yeah, this is the best round from the Australian so far for a long, long time for me. He's sort of won this one and won it quite decisively as he walks back to his corner. Let's get a listen to exactly what they're going to say. Good round there from the Australian.
Good? Of course it's good. Good. Want to do it again. Want to do it again. Around again. Okay? Don't like it. We just got to get it right. There's straight right hands at the end of our stuff. There's ropes there for it. All right, we cannot drop. I said I don't want to drop around. You're winning the last four. You just put that one to bed. Okay? But you fucking pull him. And you sneak. Every time it's long. I need something special, mate. I do. All right? That was free. Give me the fucking same again. No mistakes.
Head to the body, please. Head to the body. You don't
Double
need
tap.
subtitles here. Stay alive on the
He
cancer.
certainly believes that the fight is still there for the taking. Jack Keegan, a little bit of damage just underneath the right eye now of Sam Goodman. They were working at that as he was bellowing into his left ear.
Yeah, he certainly was, and here we go for the beginning of round number 10. I've got Nick Ball three rounds up now. Like I said, a couple of those are subjective. What you like, what you go for. So the corner is right to be animated because this one could be very close. This actually, John, could be now a 3-round contest.
Could be, and it could be that the upset is still on the cards. I wonder. We've got Nick Ball ahead, but there are others at ringside who are calling it the other way. Right hand from Ball into the side of the body of Goodman, and then he aimed an overhead right. Good jab from Ball again. Goodman haps away as Ball tries to throw a left to the body, lands one of his own. The Australian is still looking confident in that, still looking as though he's capable of carrying out the game plan. There's a solid left hand. Jaws a buzz of applause from those at ringside supporting Nick Ball.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a work going on here with Goodman, who lands a lovely left hook to the body. Nick Ball comes back. Both these guys will know this is close now. They're got it all to fight for here.
Yep, they're going to be given the rallying cry, both of them in the corners, before we get to the final round, if it gets that far. And it's still very much in the mix of this one. Goodman looking full of confidence as he comes forward, drops his right hand momentarily, and Ball trying to capitalise. Good left hook to the body from Goodman, and Ball feels the weight of that one, and he wants to cover up now as Goodman comes in close and he's aiming headshots. Another terrific left hook, this time from Goodman.
Yeah, good work here from Goodman as he slams in the right hand again there. The left hook to the body is especially effective. Nick Ball on the ropes. He needs to find something from somewhere here because Goodman just forcing him back, forcing the pace here with just less than a minute to go in the 10th.
Goodman, well, on our card, he's closing the gap. On other cards, he's moving ahead. Good right hand in there, as I was saying, that short right hand from Bull. Then a good body shot. Tries to switch the attack to the head, unable to do so. Good work, left hand, right hand from Goodman. Then back comes Bull with a right hand through the guard of the Australian. Is the work rate of Bull going to be as impressive as ever now in the last 20 seconds of this 10th round? Could be that this round is decided in these last few seconds.
Yeah, Nick Bull needs a big finish here because Goodman has blocked very, very well. As I say, that good right hand there comes in from Nick Bull. Goodman takes it well. That left hook to the body again. He crunches that in. Bull throws a combination of punches, misses wildly though. 10-second clacker goes. Bull trying to desperately push forward. Another close round, and maybe a round for the Aussie here.
Another close round, and there's the bell to end the 10th. Well, that's the round that Duke McKenzie thought that it might end in. Duke, it's not done so, and the Aussie still fancies it.
Goodman's just had the round of the fight. He won that round, I thought, quite decisively. I've still got Ball ahead though, 3 rounds up, but it's a good fight, it's a competitive fight, as you would expect. Goodman knows that his back's against the wall, and he knows this might be his only opportunity. So he's just giving his all in that round. I think Nick Ball's got just a little bit more to come from Ball. Just needs to keep the pressure on, keep his hands nice and high, hold the centre of the ring, keep this kid on the back foot. Easier said than done.
I've still got it Bull by a couple of rounds, Duke, but if somebody argued the other way, I wouldn't necessarily say that they were wrong.
Yeah, listen, I'm the same. I've got Nick Ball 2 rounds up, but you know, you go like you got one swing round there. This could be all in the making. It could be a very close fight. Gareth Davis has it 5 apiece. We've got him 2 up. This fight could be a 2-round contest, all to fight for here, round number 11.
These last 2 rounds could be epic, and Ball needs to really put his foot on the gas here, and he has to outwork Goodman, as well as landing big shots. Andy Lee has got this one level now as well. Gareth's got it level. We've got Ball a couple of rounds up, and we're now into the 11th. It's a 12-round fight as Ball defends his world title for a 3rd time here. His WBA featherweight world crown, as there's an untidy maul. Bit of elbow coming in from Goodman and the head as well, and the referee will have none of it, pushes him away and tells him, come on, let's clean up the work in the remaining minutes that we've got here. Right hand from Goodman, taken on the gloves. Nice solid jab from Bull, who adds a couple of hooks from there.
Yeah, Bull stands in the centre of the room. Goodman up on his toes now. He's trying to get a bit of life into those legs. Good body shot there from Nick Ball, body and then head with the left hook.
What an excellent fight this has turned out to be. Of course, Nick Ball was a solid favourite with the bookies, but Sam Goodman has shown that he's no respecter of reputation. He said that he got the game plan, the style to win this fight, and he's still very much in it. Here in the 11th, 2 of them land body shots simultaneously. Ball switches the attack to the head with a left hook. It's that sort of a fight. 2 men instantly having moments of superiority. One takes the aggressive stance, and then the other comes rallying back. Terrific fight, and it's been that way all the way.
Yeah, neither man stamps his authority in this 11th. As I say that, Nick Ball throws a 1-2-3. Goodman comes back with a 1-2. Left hook to the body, trading blow for blow with just a minute left in this 11th round. This round could be won and lost in this last minute.
Could well be, and it might be that the fight's being determined in this last minute. You never know. It could be very close indeed. Left hand into the body was a scoring shot from Goodman. Attempted headshots from Ball, who leaves short of the target and then comes falling in with his gloves held high. Good shots to the body from Ball, and switches the attack with a left hand. Good work. But Goodman takes another right hand from Ball as he in turn tries to pile the pressure on as we move into the last 30 seconds of the round. This is going to be a humdinger last few seconds in this round. Headshots coming in from Ball. Goodman comes back, and Ball trying to finish the aggressor in the last few seconds. 10 seconds to go. Who's going to catch the judge's eye? Who's going to take this round? Right hand from Ball. Another scoring shot, and backpedaling. Goodman maybe thinks he's done enough to win that round. I'm not too sure. Maybe he has, but this is an absolutely key moment in that Ball corner. Let's go across to that corner and hear how Paul Stevenson
quite crucial.
is giving it now.
We want this last one, Nick. All right? Take this, no doubt about it, you're going on with your title. Don't let him pinch this fucking round, okay? Let's be busy, let's work. Still got lots of energy left in the tank. Watch out for the sneaky left hook counter now and again. Put yours on it, you know what I mean? We want this round, championship rounds, you're the champion. This is where it comes down to, defending our belt. Let's fucking take over this round. Keep the ring nice and small, keep the hands nice and busy.
Let's go straight from there over into the blue corner and see what their instructions are.
Monster!
Sorry, we're a bit late on that one, but they were obviously trying to gee him up in the same way that Paul Stevenson did, with a sneaky little bit of swearing, which I almost missed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably best we didn't go in that corner because it was very high rate. This fight could be won and lost in this last round. I've got Nick Ball around up. A lot of other people have Sam Goodman around up. It's one of those contests to be won and lost here as Goodman takes centre of the ring up on his toes. Nick Ball waiting to counter. Goodman throws a good combination. Ball comes back with a good left hook of his own.
Goodman starting the faster in this final round. And he falls to the canvas. No knockdown, says the referee. He was wrestled down by Nick Ball, and the referee says, hey, come on, let's have none of that. A bit of blood coming from the right eye of Ball. Not sure if it was a head clash or a punch that caused that, but it's so late now in the contest that they're not going to worry about that. But a big right hand from Goodman is more of a worry. Went through the high gloves and then a left to the body from Goodman. Back comes Ball. Terrific exchanges as the two go toe-to-toe here in the final round in Riyadh.
Yeah, the crowd absolutely loving this one. Both guys not wanting to give an inch, trading blow for blow. Lovely uppercut on the inside there from Nick Ball. Look at the response from Goodman. He comes back with a good right hand of his own.
He'll think that he's won it, and you heard Paul Stevenson say, look, win this round and you're going home with the title. Good body shots from Goodman, but back comes Ball with a tremendous flurry of punches of his own. Terrific work rate at this stage in the fight. That's what those long weeks of preparation, of fitness, stamina, endurance training, that's what it's for. And is he getting the better of this last round? It may be the Ball is clinching it now with these final attacks in this 12th and final round. We're going now towards the last minute.
Yeah, both guys trading blow for blow. Lovely combination there from Nick Ball. 1-2, uppercut, cross. Goodman comes back with shots of his own. Double jab from Goodman. All to fight for here. 50 seconds left. This round is so close.
Goodman, though, has he got the power? That's been the one thing that maybe he's just lacked that little bit in this contest. Ball is on the front foot, and the damage to his right eye is worsening. Reddened and blood now trickling down his right cheek. Good uppercut inside from Bull. Uppercut, right hand, and then the right hand counter from Goodman as we move to the last 20 seconds. And the two of them go toe-to-toe, throwing absolutely everything in there. Who's going to take this final round? And it might be decided in the last 10 seconds, Spenny.
Yeah, we've heard the clicker. Both guys standing centre of the ring. Listen to the crowd. Both guys trading blow for blow. You can barely hear the bell as they hug it out in the middle. Who's got this one? Could it be a draw? Could it be 2 rounds to Nick Ball? Or could Goodman have nicked it? For me, I'm leaning towards Nick Ball. I think he's done enough, John. I think he stole the last round. I've got him 2 rounds up. But who knows? This is a toss of a coin.
Yeah, what a good fight it was, and what a great support bout to our main event, which is coming up next, which is Moses Itauma against Dillian Whyte. So close. What a good fight it turned out to be, Gareth.
An amazing contest. You both pointed to that throughout your commentary. Thoroughly entertaining. 36 minutes of elite level action. Coruscating, relentless action. I thought Sam Goodman stopped Nick Ball in his tracks a couple of times, or certainly once in that last round. I've scored it 6 apiece. You are right to point out that Ball has more power shots, but I do think Goodman matched him all the way through. It was a seesawing contest.
There's an argument he outboxed him.
That he maybe outboxed him, but Nick Ball is the bull, as we call him, and that's the way he fights. But what an entertaining fight. I would watch that again.
Yeah, Spencer, I mean, we've got it narrowly in Ball's favour, but if it goes the other way, or if indeed it's a draw, there'd be no surprise.
I tell you what, John, this is one of those rare contests where you go, you really don't know what's going on here. I've got it 116 to 114 in favour of Nick Ball. If it's called 116, 114 the other way, there's not an argument here.
Yeah.
That's how close this is.
It's just one swing round, guys, isn't it? Either way. That's how you're seeing it.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds, you know, it's probably like the second, for instance, which was close and not a lot happened. If you give that one to Goodman, well, it makes a difference.
Yeah, very interesting to see the way that the judges are going to go on here. I'd see Frank Warren in the corner. A nervous sort of look around Frank as well. He doesn't really know which way this is going to go. The Aussies are up. They fancy it. They're happy.
Here's Thomas Streiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Jose Roberto Torres scores it 117 to 111. Judge Michel Maxiuta scores it 118 to 110. And Judge Enrico Licini scores it 115 to 113. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBA featherweight champion of the world, Nick the Wrecking Ball.
There we go. Nick Ball retains his WBA World Featherweight title. What a fight. It was so tight. I'm alongside the former three-weight world champion, Duke McKenzie. A very close fight. What do you make of those scorecards, Duke?
I thought the scoring was outrageous. 118, 110. It's a ridiculous score. I had Nick Ball winning 116, 114. It was a grueling fight. It was a hard fight. A lot harder for him than I thought he imagined it would be. I think that he allowed Goodman much too much space, particularly in the early rounds when he was trying to get up close to him. Just couldn't get close enough because he's very, very short in stature, isn't he? He's very, very short. He's swinging shots over the top. He was lunging in quite a lot. I mean, that's not a bad performance because Goodman made it so hard for him in the tactics that he adopted. But I made Ball win that fight by 2 rounds.
Okay, we'll get more reaction from Saudi to that in just a moment. A big win for Nick Ball, but stay with us here on talkSPORT because it's about to get very tasty indeed. Moses Itauma fights Dillian Whyte next. Good evening. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. What a night of action we've brought you so far live from Saudi Arabia, but it's about to get serious. The main event is edging ever closer, and there is so much at stake. The up-and-coming talent Moses Itauma could cement himself as a serious contender for future heavyweight stardom, but there's the old warrior, Dillian Whyte, to deal with first, and it's coming to you live on talkSPORT.
It's the biggest fight of my life and career.
Dillian, the body snatcher.
Everyone's saying how great he is. The biggest, hardest fight. The hardest puncher, the quickest puncher, the fastest guy.
Itauma is going looking for another showreel knockout. Moses Itauma can take him out right now.
The strongest guy, the most intelligent, the most patient is boxer.
He's a better mover than Mike Tyson, like a bit more fluid.
Oodles of natural talent.
I even phoned Dylan, like, Dylan, I don't know why you're taking this fight.
2 national titles, 3 European gold medals, and a world title. As a professional, I'm looking to replicate that.
Everyone portray him as a superhuman. That's how I'm approaching the fight. I'm fighting Superman.
Itauma! Oh, that's it!
If he can beat Dillian Whyte, then it's certainly the real deal.
Dillian Whyte is victorious!
Good evening, this is Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Klink. We are not far away from the top billing as Moses Itauma takes on Dillian Whyte. The atmosphere building very nicely indeed in Saudi Arabia. I'm alongside Duke McKenzie. Our full team of Spencer Oliver, Gareth A. Davies and John Rawling are out in Saudi, and you can watch them on the Talk Boxing YouTube channel for their reaction to all of the drama. Let me just run you through all of the results from the undercard tonight. Lightweight Mohamed Akayel pulled off a first-round knockout of Yumnam Santosh Singh. Then super featherweight Raymond Ford secured and a unanimous decision over Abraham Nova after that. Then we saw a heavyweight clash, and it was some fight between Filip Hrgović and David Adelaide with a dramatic 8th round, but in the end, a dominant win on points for Hrgović there. Then Hayato Tsutsumi made light work of super featherweight Kaisash Fak before Nick Ball just now retained his WBA featherweight title against Sam Goodman. Up next, though, is the fight we've all been waiting for. Itauma against Whyte, a huge heavyweight clash. Itauma, just 20 years old, 12 fights, 12 wins, up against the old warrior Whyte. Duke, we're not far away now. What's going through the mind of Moses Itauma in particular in these moments?
It's all about tactics, isn't it? And just staying calm and staying focused. He won't want to be, getting too nervous because the nerves are already done now. He doesn't strike me as the kind of kid that'd be sitting in the room and think to himself, you know what, nerves are going to get a hold of me. He's quietly confident. He knows that this is a chance for him to really sort of showcase what he's all about. You know, there's a lot of hype surrounding this kid, so it's not a question of if he wins, it's how he wins. If this fight should go the distance and he labours to, like a 10 round points decision, then, the fingers are going to be wagging and there's going to be that fingers right in his face saying, you know what, you're not as good as what you say you are. But I don't really think we're going to get that from him. I think we'll see quite an educated performance, a well-educated performance from him. He'll take his time and just try and break the older fighter down systematically.
Let's bring in our team in Saudi, including talkSPORT's Fight Night host, Gareth A. Davies. In terms of Dillian Whyte, Gareth, we're not sure whether he will have showered before this particular fight, although I know that you'll have wanted to get that question in for him. But we've talked so much, haven't we, about the experience of someone like Whyte. And in these moments, you would expect him to be using that, to be calm, to be ready to go.
Yeah, you asked me about Dillian earlier and I gave my answer on that. I want to talk about Moses for a minute because he's a nerveless young man who is very precise and very powerful about the way he lands his punches. And that's the danger for Dillian Whyte tonight. Dillian likes a dogfight. The great fights we remember him in is rematching Alexander Povetkin, knocking him out with a left hook. For the wars with Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker that we sat ringside for with talkSPORT, where we could not sit on the edges of our seats. Dillian Whyte ain't gonna outbox Moses Itauma. He's got to make it a dogfight. I don't care that he's had 192 rounds in 34 fights to Moses 25 rounds in 12 fights. We are looking at different specimens on different scales, moving on different escalators, one up and one down. It is Moses Itauma's fight to lose tonight. Frank Warren and Francis Warren would not be putting Moses in and taking a risk on the kid that could take over the division if they thought that Dillian Whyte would upend him tonight. Dillian Whyte can, because he's dangerous and he believes in himself. But for me, I think we'll see something very special tonight. If we don't, it is a massive upset in my view if Dillian Whyte wins.
Alongside you, Gareth, is the former European champion, Spencer Oliver. Spencer, I mean, you both have been around these fighters all week. We've seen Dillian Whyte weigh in at his lightest weight since 2015. Does that show just how seriously he is taking this fight? What have you made of the way that he's carried himself in the build-up to it?
Yeah, of course, Ollie, you know, I mean, he's coming at nearly a career lightest because he recognises this is the last roll of the dice. This is make or break. You know, career very much alive if he comes through that. He'll take that WBO #1 spot, puts himself right back in the mix. But if he loses, that's the door shut. It's game over. 37 years of age, nowhere else to go. You know, there's so many narratives going into this contest. Dillian Whyte trying to keep that career alive, and all about Moses Itauma. Is he as good as what we all think he is? You know, he's hot on everyone's lips at the moment. When you get a new heavyweight to come along as good as he is, or as good as he's proven so far, you get excited. But this is the acid test. If he deals with Dillian and does it in style, then we know he's the real deal.
Well, let's hear from Dillian Whyte himself. Earlier this week, he joined Gareth and Spence on the Fight Night Daily podcast, and they asked him about his face-off with Itauma at the press conference.
He's young, isn't he? He's starting to get a bit nervous, get a bit hyped up, and he's trying to draw me out. I'm just like, yo, relax, bro. It's less than 40 hours. We're going to put hands on each other. Just relax, relax. They're coming, don't worry.
Is that what you said when you faced off close together?
That's the thing, bro. Relax. Like, you're not a bad man. The bad man thing is not for you. I'm not trying to go down that lane, but if you want to, then cool. I'm trying to be cool and respectful, but he's like, yeah, you know, I want to see if you're a wolf or a sheep. I say, bro, take it easy, bro. You don't want me to while I'll f all of his team up. I don't care. You know, if you up, then everyone's at risk. Not only him. I'll beat them all up. I don't give a f.
This is the Dillian Whyte I wanted to hear. This is the Dillian Whyte.
I'm chill until people start me. That's all. But I'm still chill. That's how I said, yo, calm down, bro. Take it easy, bro. Relax.
Fighting talk as we would expect, of course, from Dillian Whyte. Right, we have sent Gareth A. Davies out and about ringside in Riyadh, and I believe he is alongside Eddie Hearn.
I am indeed with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, good evening, how are you?
Fantastic, how are you, Gareth?
Good, I hear you're putting Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua together.
Maybe. If they want it, we will oblige.
Big night tonight. You work with Frank Warren in, obviously a rival still, but you're both on DAZN. Is this Moses Itauma's night to lose as opposed to Dillian Whyte's night to prove that we're all wrong about him?
I expect Moses to come through this fight, and I think early on he's going to be particularly dangerous. I mean, the lack of activity of Dillian Whyte in recent years, the age, the slowness of feet, is going to be a disaster when it comes to the freshness, the movement and the skill of Moses Itauma. I think if Dillian can get into the fight, then we're going to hopefully ask some questions that we need the answers for. How good is Moses' chin? What's it like when he goes to the trenches? Maybe he can tick those boxes. I really hope we see it tonight. I just think Moses is going to be so dangerous early in this fight with his sharpness, with his speed. And it's the shots that probably Dillian Whyte won't see. We've seen it before, you know, even going back 10 years almost to the AJ fight now. The uppercut from Povetkin, the uppercut from Tyson Fury. It's those shots that he doesn't see coming, and Moses has them in plentiful.
Reading between the lines and what you're saying, you do believe this kid's destined for greatness?
Yeah, I think it's very early to say. I think he has tremendous talent. But as we saw earlier in the Hrgovic-Adelaide fight, the heavyweight game is very, very different. You've got to be made of something really special to be able to stand with those big men and absorb the pressure, the shots, the ones around the side of the head, the ones to the body. And we just don't know if Moses can do that there. All the word out of the gym is Yes, he's toughen up, but this is sparring. When you get in there with 10-ounce gloves on, and that's what I'm saying, if Dillian Whyte can get through 4 or 5 rounds, interesting they made this a 10-rounder as well, because maybe Moses, you know, he just hasn't gone the rounds. So if I'm Dillian Whyte, I'm just trying to find a way to get on the chest. I'm hitting him around the ear holes, on the arms, to the body, wherever you can. I'm using my forearms and just making it heavy duty for Moses. It's the only chance he's got in this fight.
You sound like a fighter. Anthony Joshua is a huge household name. You helped him become a massive star. From what you've seen of Moses, does he have those qualities himself that could take him to world stardom?
Honestly, I don't see anybody ever competing on the level of AJ, not in terms of ability, but just draw. We've never seen it before. But don't forget, AJ won the Olympic gold in London. It's a hell of a start. You know, Moses may not quite have the same energy to light up a room just yet, but he's 20 years old.
I don't agree with you. I think he's got it all. I think we'll see that, and I think we're seeing it more this week as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you look at it, Moses is fighting Dillian Whyte here tonight. AJ fought Dillian Whyte 10 years ago in front of 21,000 at the O2 and did 700,000 pay-per-view buys for the British heavyweight title.
I don't know, we know how brilliant Anthony's been.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about ability. I'm just talking about stardom. You know, the ability to light up the amateur scene, for young kids to say to their parents, I want to be the next AJ. No one's done it like AJ before. Moses, skill-wise, ability-wise, I think he could match everybody.
You know I love you, but you lost 5-0 to Frank Warren over here, so I'm going over to see him now.
Yeah, go on then.
Thanks very much,
nice,
as
thanks,
always.
mate.
Cheers. And we're going to try and have a word to Frank Warren here now as well. Frank, the guy you beat 5-0 in the Queensbury versus Matchroom, we've just spoken to him. He reckons, okay, that Anthony Joshua will always be the biggest heavyweight star in the UK. We have a theory that Moses could be an even bigger star if everything goes to plan.
It could be, but I'll tell you an interesting fact. Gotta get my breath. There's only one, in his last 2 fights, there's only one fighter who's drawn there's no fighter who's drawn a higher gate in his last 2 fights than Daniel Dubois. 186,000 people watched him live.
That's not bad, is it? And also, he can come back and win again. Tyson Fury is in that mix as well.
Is he the biggest? AJ's been obviously he's been a big star. We've had lots of stars over the years, been a heavyweight star, but still no one's broken Tyson Fury's record at Wembley.
When you look at Moses, and he's so young, he's such a neophyte, you have had to fast track him in lots of ways. There's so many opportunities in the division right now. Mike Tyson was in his 28th fight, 74th round when he fought for a world title against Trevor Berbick back in the 80s, late 80s. Moses arguably might have only 35 rounds in the bank by the time he fights for a world title. Is he good enough because he's young? If he's young enough and good enough, does he go in anyway?
That might be the case, but I haven't fast-tracked him. We picked the fights at the right moment we feel he's ready for them. And touch wood, that's worked out. Tonight is a big moment in his career. This is a big test for him. He's in with a seasoned pro. He's only lost 3 fights, and those 3 fights are all against world champions. And he's given a good account of himself in those fights. So now this is, as I say, a big moment for him. 20 years of age, guy's 17 years older than him, coming in the best condition anybody's seen him in for God knows how many years, and we're going to see what he's about. And you know, then we can make comments after, you know, what stage he's at. At this moment in time, this is a tough fight for him.
And arguably, Dillian's played that game all week. His back's against the wall. You've all written me off. I'm the old man. I'm the cannon fodder. And he looks like he's gathered all that and wants to cause what will be an upset in some ways.
But his back is against the wall. You know, Moses, a young fighter, can afford a loss. Learn from it and come back. When you're his age, You can't afford it. You want to stay at the top table, you've got to come through, and he knows that better than you and me.
And if he wins tonight, he gets the 50th fight with Derek Chisora and then a rematch with Moses, probably.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully that's not going to be the case.
Are we going to see, we've been debating tonight, and there's still, it can go on for years because it's not going to run out of time. Do you think we'll see Tyson and Anthony Joshua fight?
I do feel Tyson will come back and fight again. It won't be this year. I do feel he'll do it if he wants to do it. But he's, I think he will.
Have you got a prediction for Moses tonight?
If he catches him, he'll go. Got to catch him.
If he catches him, he's going to go, but he's got to catch him. Frank, as always, thank you so much.
There we go, Frank Warren alongside Gareth A. Davies. Sterling work from Gareth, as always. Duke McKenzie, I want to actually pick up on something that Eddie Hearn said before that. He was talking about the fact that Moses Itauma won't have come up against someone who's used to dealing with absorbing big shots. We know how powerful Itauma is, but is that a big test for him tonight? The fact he's up against someone like Whyte who has experience of taking the big shots.
Yeah, sure, he's got to be careful that he doesn't punch himself out. He might have Dillian Whyte hurt, rocked against the ropes, but Dillian knows how to survive, and he could tie him up, let him punch himself out, and then maybe come unstuck. I mean, that's what Dillian Whyte's got to obviously hope for, but I can't really see that happening. They've said they've got a game plan, his team, and we have to see if he executes that game plan. Game plan surely has to be to take Dillian Whyte past the halfway mark and take him out later in the fight. I mean, if the knockout comes early, then obviously it comes early, but I would imagine it would come around between 6 and 8 rounds.
OK, let's cross back to Gareth A. Davies, who's alongside Hamza Shiraz.
I am indeed alongside the towering Hamza Shiraz, who has the height of a heavyweight at times. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, and I'll give you a heads up. I showered before I came here.
Oh, easy. Get your digs in early on. Fair enough. Look, you know what it's like to go under the lights and have the pressure on you. You did it in the United States recently in Edgar Berlanga. You took a relish to your opponent and you beat him up in a brilliant fashion. Your stock rose. We want you in the big fights. Chris Eubank, I don't know, Canelo Alvarez, all those fights. Pressure on Moses tonight. You know what it's like being a young fighter.
Yeah, definitely. I've been there and got the T-shirt of having that pressure. But I feel like he's a very, very relaxed character. He's a very relaxed character, and I feel like he's handling it well. And I think the only thing the question that's left now is how he handles it in the ring now.
Well, we're going to leave it there because it's Buffer handling it in the ring for now. Lovely to see you as always, mate. Pleasure. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Gareth, thanks very much indeed. It's time for the main event then, a coming-of-age moment for Moses Itauma. He stormed his way to this point without fuss, but he's not faced a test like this. Dillian Whyte, rugged, experienced, a fighter in every sense of the word, and he will bring every ounce of that tonight. Can Itauma live up to the hype, or will Whyte put the buffers on his burgeoning career and fire himself back in the mix? The drama is about to start. Let's cross to the scene in Saudi Arabia and join your top commentary team, the former European champion Spencer Oliver alongside John Rawling.
And you join us at anthem time. This is the anthem of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who of course are the hosts for this event here in Riyadh tonight. And Michael Buffer, as ever, has the microphone
at this time,
in
ladies
hand.
and gentlemen, we will honor the two fighters in our main event with the national anthem for the United Kingdom, God Save the King. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started! Coming to the ring first, please welcome the undefeated Moses Itauma!
The lights go low, the pyrotechnics begin, and a sign goes up saying, "Welcome to the future."
Is coming. The future is already here. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Moses Itauma is the one figure up on the big stage to our right. As the sound of Nina Simone echoes across this state-of-the-art arena.
Yep, just psyching himself up now, Moses. Walking up and down, up on that big stage. This is the first time, yes, he's boxed here in Saudi Arabia, but the first time he's topped the bill. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, and Gareth, he seems to be dealing with it well.
I was just thinking that you took the words right out of my mouth, the Omen. He looks intense. He looks like he's relishing it. He's given up the opportunity for the old warrior to walk last. That's been agreed. They moved the poster to the A side and the B side. I really like the intensity on his face. Not relishing it too much. It's all business, John, for Moses Itauma.
Well, yeah, it is. It's business time, isn't it? He's done everything absolutely right so far, but it would be extraordinary indeed if he didn't feel a little bit of nervousness up there right now. And all athletes say that to be at your best, to be really on edge and capable of producing your best, you have to have that feeling of nervousness. It's always a question of how you harness it.
John, let me tell you, I've been in this position as a young man when you're stepping up. When I boxed for the European title for the first time, I was an undefeated fighter in 14, and similar to where Moses is now in his career. And yes, you sort of believe in yourself, but you don't know. You don't know, so you think, yeah, I can do this guy, I've seen him, I fancy it, but you don't really know if you're at that level. You only find out, like, so if Moses wins this fight tonight, it will elevate him to another level, trust me. But right now, there will be nerves, because he will be thinking, I think I'm good enough, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough. He won't know that. You don't know until you get into that level.
All those rounds as a teenager that he's boxed with the Dillian Whytes of this world, with the Derek Chisoras, with the Anthony Joshuas, the Daniel Dubois and the Tyson Furies count for nothing. 15-year-old against Joe Joyce, 10-ounce gloves, under the lights, on a big night. The coronation of his ascent to being very special in boxing. I like the look of him. No one's really talking to him. Everybody's really relaxed in his team. They'll have had the conversations. He's got the right man in the corner with Ben Davison. I really like the look of him right now.
Well, Ben's certainly super cool, isn't he? And he's down there, Moses Itauma, doing stretching exercises on the canvas, trying to keep himself loose, trying to stay relaxed. A couple of words from Ben Davison saying, well, who knows? But he'll be just telling him, I'm sure, you've done the work, you know you can do it. Just stay cool, stay calm, and wait for the opportunity, and that opportunity is coming closer now by the second.
Yep, as he walks around the ring, waiting for the ring announcer, Mike Buffer, to call Dillian Whyte into the ring. These are nervous moments. There'll be things going through his mind. He'll be going over the tactics, how the fight needs to go, the game plan, etc., etc. But right now, I tell you how he's feeling right now. He just wants that first bell to ring. He'll want Dillian to make that walk.
It just begs the question as the music continues to play and Moses Itauma is up there waiting. Is this a little bit of an old pro trick from Dillian Whyte, or is this planned?
No, I think Moses Itauma's team are kind of questioning themselves. Why is this going on as long? We didn't think it was going to be. That's the DJ playing that music, not Dillian. I think they've done it on a time schedule. I think he's ready to come in.
No, Dillian Whyte's waiting in the dressing room purposely, mate. He's using that experience to keep the young fighter up there. And as I said to you, the nerves will be going in there. I'm telling you how he's feeling. He'll be wanting the first bell to go, and the nerves lead you. Dillian was waiting purposely.
The Brixton body snatcher, Dillian Whyte.
Talk about people under pressure, this fella is. Loses tonight, and it could be that a long career is over. 37 years old now. The music, of course, is from Jaws. Is he a shark capable of devouring Itauma? He's walking up the steps behind the stage from where he will make his entrance. And will this be the last big ring entrance of Dillian Whyte? Or can he produce a victory to show that he still has currency in the heavyweight division?
Yep, the million-dollar question. Could this be the last time we see Dillian Whyte walk out? He looks focused, he's soaking it up. He knows what's in front of him. Is it the passing of the baton to the new hotshot of the heavyweight division in Moses Itauma? Or can Dillian Whyte do the unthinkable and pull off a huge, huge upset?
He weighed in at his lightest since 2015. Is it cosmetic? Will it give him greater speed? Well, for whatever reason, the slimmed-down version of Dillian Whyte is now coming down the steps off that stage and making his walk towards the ring.
Just needs to pull out a little bit of magic. One big punch, one hellacious left hook. He looks very focused as well, very focused on his face and in his eyes. As we've all said so many times, this is a very, very proud man who's pulled himself through life as a survivor, a father at 13. He's been shot and stabbed. Many of his friends from his youth are dead or in prison. Dillian has got here by the force of his own nature, and boxing has kept him on track in life for 15 years.
He's been a controversial figure, but he's up there in the ring right now. And Michael Buffer,
ladies and gentlemen, from the ANB Arena here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the city recognized as one of the world's greatest venues for sports and entertainment. And with that, special thanks, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And the chairman of both the General Entertainment Authority and the Saudi Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. This is a presentation by Esports World Cup and the General Entertainment Authority, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Spencer Brown for Gold Star Promotions, the Bible of Boxing, Ring Magazine, and Sella. Sponsored by STC, Kidia, SNB, Arena Fitness Innovation, and Mike Tyson Boxing Club. On the line, 3 championship titles in this 10-round contest. The WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, the WBA International Heavyweight Championship, and the vacant Commonwealth Heavyweight Championship. Sanctioned by the rules and regulations of the Saudi Boxing Commission, President Jose Mohan. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring. From Belgium, Michel Maxuida. From Italy, Antonio Marona. From Puerto Rico, Jose Roberto Torres. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee from Sweden, Mikael Hug. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials are in place and they are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with blue, official weight 244 1/2 pounds. His professional record stands at 34 fights, 31 victories, including 21 big wins by knockout, with only 3 defeats. He is the fighting heavyweight pride of Brixton, London, England, the former 2-time WBC interim heavyweight world champion, the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and officially weighing in at 245 1/2 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one. 12 fights, 12 victories, 10 big wins by knockout. From Chatham, Kent, England, he is the reigning and defending Intercontinental International Champion, the undefeated Moses Itauma.
As ever, an almost perfect introduction from Michael Buffer. Final words in the corner. And first to centre of the ring is Dillian Whyte, and now here comes Moses Itauma.
All the time. And I say stop and break, no punches. Stop and break, no punches. Touch gloves and good luck.
The 2 touch gloves, I don't believe that they locked gaze. I think that pair of them looked away. And now all the build-up, all the talking over. Is Itauma just a hype job? Is Whyte going to expose it? Now we will see. And away they go. The first of 10 rounds is underway. And who's going to be the first to take advantage? The speed of Itauma could well be a dominant factor. First man to try and throw a punch is Whyte. A couple of jabs taken on the gloves by Itauma. Itauma tries to throw a left hand towards the body of Whyte. A very less substantial body than we've seen in many a year.
Yep, Itauma just looking to find the range early on here with the jab. Dillian Whyte taking centre of the ring. Good left hand to the body there from Itauma. Just forces Dillian Whyte back on the back foot. Whyte comes back with a double jab of his own.
Whyte keeping his right glove close to his chin, ready for the power left hand of Itauma, who's a southpaw, remember, fights out of a southpaw stance, leads off with the right hand. Dillian Whyte tonight in his 35th professional engagement, only lost 3 times.
Nice jab there from Dillian Whyte, but Moses up on his toes, showing us that movement that we see, that boxing IQ. Is good for Moses Itauma, and he's going to need it here against a very experienced Dillian Whyte. He lets the double jab, left hand go through the middle, left hand to the body as well. The crowd like that one. Right hook as well. Oh, big shot to the head of Dillian's heart.
He's got his gloves up, he's got his gloves up, he's about to go down, is he? Here comes the big attack for Itauma. Whyte trying to cover up, trying to survive. Good left hand down the body shot.
Gone.
He's stumbling along the ropes. He's not gone, not yet. He takes the right hand. He goes down. He might have gone now. Is he going to be able to get up? In the first round, Dillian Whyte is struggling to his feet, and the referee says it's all over. It has finished in the first round, and Moses Itauma gets the dream victory. He's down on his knees, getting the applause of his trainer, Ben Davidson. And Moses Itauma, certainly here in Riyadh tonight, you could argue he has arrived.
John ruling, a star is born. All the answers were answered right there. He went out, it was calculated. He was throwing the left hand to the body. He brought the hands down of Dillian Whyte. The right hook over his head. Top took his legs away. Body shots went in as well. Savage finish, calculated finish. And I tell you what, this kid is the new star of heavyweight boxing. Remember the name, Moses Itauma.
Well, I know Turkey wants to put him in against Alexander Usyk, doesn't he? Maybe it's not time for that just yet, but I'll tell you what, it won't be long.
Incredible finish, brutal, concise, power, picked him apart, dismantled him, took his time as well. Dillian had no answer. He shook him up, he shook him down, and he finished him. There was no way that Dillian Whyte could carry on. Look at that accuracy, patience, brutal. And that is the moment, Spencer, you said it, that's the moment. He will never be able to go backwards from this. It's going to be top 10 opponents from here on in. There is no other way to go now but up and harder, tougher nights with even more pressure.
Yeah, how can he go backwards now? Dillian Whyte is a world-class athlete. Yeah, he may not have been as good as we've seen him fight until back in 2022 when he boxed Tyson Fury. He hasn't looked the same, but the way he was taken out there in style by a young 20-year-old fighter in Moses Itauma tells you this kid could live with any heavyweight in the world right now.
That was the ultimate statement, I completely agree. And they will have to look at this now. Ben Davison was right. No one goes 12 rounds, I think, with Moses Itauma, because either he's going to get beat or they're going to beat him. He brings all action. Massive statement. Could not have made a bigger statement tonight than stopping Dillian Whyte inside a round.
Hey, listen, we've heard talk tonight of AJ against the YouTuber. How about AJ against this fella? That would really get people talking.
I don't think he gets beyond 3 rounds with this kid.
Well, unfortunately, they're both trained by Ben Davison, so that fight wouldn't happen. But you're right, listen, it's all about timing here. It's a passing of the baton right now. We've got our heavyweights in Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, all the guys at the top there, they're in the twilight, 37, 38. Even when we're talking about the Alexander Usyk, 38 years of age, this is the new shining, this is the new star. Moses Itauma has established himself as a world-class heavyweight. Facts.
He was made for him, though, wasn't he? Let's be honest. Absolutely made for him.
Look, if you're good enough, you're old enough. We've said that about him from the very start. We're not just talking about things we're seeing all the time and hyping him. We hear things, we are insiders in the sport. We hear things inside the gym, that he can take a punch, that he comes back harder when he does land, he is landed on, that he's got this kind of tenacity about him. He's got an arrogance that I really like. I like his swagger. I think it's grown this week as well. And being very close to him this week and around him, I think we've seen it as well. It's absolutely brilliant. A star is born. This could be the beginning of the new era of the heavyweight division. Moses Itauma could go on for the next 4 years and be the dominant force, like Mike Tyson between 1986 and 1990. It's a brilliant moment to be here with you guys with talkSPORT, to witness this, to witness the coronation of a young man into someone who can now become a household name.
Contest comes at 1 minute, 59 seconds of the very first round. The winner by knockout victory, his record now still perfect, 13 fights, 13 victories, 11 wins by knockout. He is still the Intercontinental and International champion along with the new Commonwealth title. He is Moses Itauma!
And he looks every inch the star now as belts are wrapped around his waist and over his shoulders. He is the champion very much here tonight, and in a second we're going to be able to hear the interview in the ring as he's asked a few salient points, a few salient questions from what was a spectacular performance. Here it is.
That go everywhere around the world tomorrow and later on tonight. Incredible performance, Moses. So much gold. I feel like we're going to be adding to this in 2026. You smile. Congratulations on the biggest win of your career.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'd like to say a big thank you to the Saudi crowd, the English crowd, all the crowd around the world watching this. I appreciate you lot. I love and respect you lot. Second of all, I'd like to thank His Excellency because he made this fight happen. Frank Warren made this fight happen. So thank you very much. And the final person I'd like to say a thank you to is the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte. If it wasn't for him, it takes two to tango. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to showcase my skills.
You always said throughout the week, if I stick to my game plan, we get this job done quick. I don't think you meant that quick, the very first round. You expected this to go a bit longer.
To be honest, like what Ben was telling me what to do, for the first maybe 2-3 minutes, I saw he was doing exactly what Ben telling me to do, but it's just, you know, the fight nerves, whatnot kicked in. And then after maybe like the first minute, I was like, okay, cool. I keep seeing this happen. I can't miss it. So, yeah, man, executed the game plan.
It was a really good Dillian Whyte. Let's not take away the fact it was the first round. We saw him all week, and he looks incredible. Everyone kept speaking about it. 244 pounds, physically looked insane. That really is a fantastic performance, Moses.
I appreciate it, man. What's next? What's next? What's next?
That's my job. That's my job to ask.
What's next?
What? Who do you want next, Moses? The world's your oyster right now. Who do you want to fight next?
Honestly, I'll fight anyone they put in front of me. So you shout a couple names out and I'm there.
Can I say a couple of names to you?
Usyk. He's not shouting Usyk.
There's a few shouting Usyk.
Listen. If I be completely honest, Joseph Parker and Caballero do deserve the shot, but I'd love to take the opportunity as well. Chuck me in there with them lot.
Let me bring in a man that could maybe answer a few of those questions. Frank, come in. Frank, you've had a lot of good fighters. I've followed your stable for many a year, Frank. This must be one of the best prospects you've ever come across.
Without a doubt. He's done everything that's been asked of him, and it's how he's done it. He's the most unbelievable finisher. He catches you, you're in trouble, and you are in trouble. You know, and you think the 3 losses on his record, on Dillian's record, were to world champions. I mean, real good quality fighters, guys who've been at the top of the game. And, I mean, it was one round. I mean, it was a one round. He caught him in the game plan that they put together, the team, Ben and the team, it works. They got it absolutely perfect.
All week, Frank, I think a lot of people were maybe changing their opinions on how this fight could go, right? I think a lot of people initially said Moses blows away Dillian. As we got closer to fight week, people's opinions started changing because of how Dillian looked. Are you surprised just how easy Moses made that look?
Yeah.
Be honest.
No, yeah. No, was I? No, I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, I was. And I thought there'd be a bit longer than that, but, you know, he done it in style. I mean, he's a phenomenal finisher. He catches you and he doesn't get flustered. He gets space on his shots. He doesn't fall into the opponent. Every shot he throws is a hurtful punch, and it's a well-measured punch. He's an unbelievable talent, unbelievable boxing talent. Probably one of the best, if not the best, at this stage of his career I've ever been involved with.
Moses, it's only a round, so surely we get to see you again before the end of the year.
100%. 100%.
And come on, Moses, give us a name. I know you said the crowd should give us a name, and there's many a contender ringside as well. Who do you want to see opposite you?
These lot are saying Usyk. What's the crowd saying? What's the crowd saying? Everyone's just shouting out Usyk, but listen, I'm ranked #1 with the WBO. I'm interim champion now. So obviously Parker's also with that, so maybe that's a good fight. I know the team mentioned they still want me to get some rounds out. Mate, all these fights can happen. All these fights can happen. So it's bigger and better, man. What's next? I'm 20-year-old. I'm only 20-year-old. I've got maybe 10, 15 years left in this career. So, man, there's going to be a lot of this face around. So I'm just happy to be able to put a performance on for you guys.
Final one, simple question. Will you be a world champion in 2026?
Belt to ass. Come on, man. Listen, if I get the opportunity, 100%. 100%.
Well done. Congratulations on a truly incredible performance. Belt to ass. Stick with us.
He's going to become a very, very wealthy young man. A few people listening will have earned a few quid as well. You know, he was 11-1 against that first round victory. So if you've got quids in there, well done, good choice. And Gareth Davis is up in the ring. He's got the microphone poised, and he's looking to get himself in close. Gareth, take it away.
I am. Moses is just having his photos taken by the ringside photographers here, and we'll get a word with him. Very happy young man right now. He's done what he was meant to do tonight. He's produced the performance. He's doing his photo shoot with the belts right now. Looking mean, moody and magnificent. It's a big moment, the coronation of a young man who is going to go onwards and upwards from here. It's the only direction he is going to head. Moses, can we have a quick word with you, please? Did you feel any nerves coming in here tonight?
No, the reason why I say that is because I've been in training for maybe 12 to 14 weeks, and I've ticked every box. So if it wasn't my night to win today, it wasn't going to be my night, but I knew that I'd done everything I could to make this night my night.
It only took you 1 minute 59 seconds, but you were still careful, precise, brutal, and you finished it completely.
Thank you very much, Gareth.
But you were still patient, weren't you?
I mean, that was one of the things where the team wanted me to get a couple rounds out, so I was like, maybe I should slow it down a little bit, but I saw he was hurt, and we went for it.
You've been going at these guys. You texted Dillian when you were 14 and asked him to go sparring with you. You seem ready. People are saying you're hyping this guy too much. You seem ready for all of them. Are you ready for all of them?
What do you reckon, Gareth?
I think you're ready. Tell me what you're going to do now. Francis, come in. Francis, thank you, Moses. Francis, we sat down in January at the beginning of the year, and you said by the end of the year he could be world champion.
Absolutely, I totally agree with it. I think you know, just if we can get maybe one in before December and then a big fight in December.
Joseph Parker, Ajit Kabayel, who would you think?
They're not going to chuck names around. I don't think we need to. We're in a great position ranking-wise, but I think he's ready for the big guys now.
Alexander Usyk included in that list?
Absolutely. Let me just jump in here.
They're doing their photos up here. I'm going to grab Ben Davison as well right now. Let me have a word with Ben Davison. Okay, they're doing the photos. Charles, you get in there, sir. Are you pleased?
They said it's brothers.
Are you pleased?
Very, very.
Charles is Moses' father. He said he didn't even feel any nerves tonight, Charles.
No. Very calm. Follow the plan.
and the plan was followed. So everything finished.
The joint venture between you and your wife is working.
Yes. Yeah.
It's brilliant up here. There's lots of celebrations going on. I'm going to get Ben Davison as well. Ollie, I'll go back to you for now. I'll get Ben Davison in a minute.
Brilliant work as always, Gareth. We'll be straight back with you when you do have Ben Davison. But just a hype job then. Not one bit of it. Wow, the pressure was on Moses Itauma tonight, but he has passed his first real test with flying colours. He has beaten Dillian Whyte with a first-round knockout. This could be the start, Duke McKenzie, of something very, very special.
There's a film called A Star Is Born, and what we've just seen there replicated that. A star is almost certainly born. I thought we would beat Dillian Whyte, but not with that ease. He looked so comfortable, like saying the build-up in the changing room, his ring walk, his whole sort of demeanour once he actually got into the ring. You know, for a young guy of only 20 years of age to hold down all that pressure and not show it, that's quite impressive. But what was more impressive, this kid's hand speed was phenomenal. I mean, you know, he's a southpaw and that makes him dangerous anyway. But he wasn't pouring with his jab. Everything was solid. Everything was precise. And he just went out, laid out. He still just went straight to work. Just didn't hang around.
Let's bring in Spencer Oliver, who is ringside in Saudi. It all unfolded in front of you, Spencer. I mean, before this fight, we were talking about it being that first real test, a big test. But this man's the real deal, isn't it? It was explosive, it was brutal. Let's talk about what it means, though. He said in the ring, what's next, what's next, what's next? I'll fight anyone. He said he'd love a shot at Usyk. But do you feel, though, up next, it's a fight with Parker or Caballero?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, he's world ranked now, and he's got to pick off all the top guys. And Parker, Caballero's a dangerous fight. He's the bogeyman of the division, really. He's been picking opponents off, Makhmudov and Sanchez. We saw him go through those. He was an underdog in both of those. So he's the danger man of the division for sure. But, you know, Joseph Parker's a well-recognised name. That could be a great fight. There's a number of fighters you like on that performance. You would put him in with any heavyweight in the world right now. The speed, the precision, the timing, the accuracy, you know, and the whole fight game plan, you know, it was absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, very world-class performance. Very impressive.
Let's rejoin Gareth A. Davies, who is in the ring alongside Itauma's trainer, Ben Davison.
I am alongside Itauma's trainer, Ben Davison. They're actually watching the highlights of the fight with me right now, where Moses got him in the corner. You're getting your fighter to look at it straight away. Happy, Mr. Davison?
Yeah, look, pros, fantastic event, headline against the British boxing legend, fantastic performance. Cons, we're still chasing those rounds, but hey-ho. Like I said, very hard. I said with you guys, funny enough, this week, very hard for any heavyweight to get to 12 rounds with him. Very hard.
It's really weird, isn't it, that he might become a world champion without getting the rounds in even.
Yeah, like to go 12 rounds with him is a tough task. Never mind to bank rounds and, you know, all this, get to the second half. I've seen him start to walk people down and beat them up, head and body, breaking them down on the front foot. I've seen that side to his game, but to get to the second half while shipping that punishment along the way, it's a really tough task.
We've heard from Francis Warren up here in the ring. We've heard from Charles Itauma, his father. We've heard from Moses himself. You'll have a say in where he goes next. Who would you like him to fight next? Because you will have thought about it. Who do you think?
The team will have a discussion. There's this 30-day extension for Usyk to see what happens there.
With Joseph Parker?
With all the belts, to be honest. I think we'll get a clearer picture and we'll look there. Maybe we go a route and try and find somebody else to bank some rounds.
Who would that be?
I do have a few names in mind, but being honest, if you mention them, the price goes up, so I don't want to upset Frank.
Would that be like a Hrgovic, for example, who looked all right tonight?
Like I say, I don't want to mention any names because the price might go up, etc., etc. But like I say, I think in 4 to 6 weeks we'll have a clearer path of what we think will be next.
Great to see you tonight, mate. Congratulations. Well done. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Back to you, Ollie.
There we go, very tactical there, I think, from Ben Davison. Duke, I'm not going to take anything away from Itauma tonight. It was an amazing performance, explosive performance, like we've said. But I just want to take the cynical side of it. What would you say to any cynics who look at this and they go, well, it's not the same Dillian Whyte as before. This an ageing fighter. This wasn't actually the test everyone was making it out to be.
I would say that Itauma made it look easy. You know, I mean, listen, there's another saying in boxing, is, you know, you don't put an old guy in with a young guy. You don't put a 37-year-old guy in with a 21-year-old hungry lion like an Itauma. So there's all different ways you can look at it. But the bottom line is, it was an emphatic performance. You know, he didn't put a punch wrong. His hand speed is phenomenal for a heavyweight. You know, he just rattles shots off like a Gatling gun. They just go in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches, all in one combination. He's got an old head on young shoulders. He really has. And like you say, he saw the opening, didn't wait for it to come again. As soon as he saw it, just took him out. So Dillian Whyte could have made him look really bad tonight, but Moses Itauma just didn't allow him to. He just sat out his stall straight away, went to work. I don't know, like I say, with the exception of like Usyk, I think Cabell gives him life and death. I don't know who else there is, to be honest with you. I think there's only those two really. They're the only two viable fighters on the planet right now that would give this young kid problems, because I see this young kid giving everybody else absolute life and death.
OK, let's cross back to Gareth A. Davies, who is alongside a potential next opponent for Itauma, Joseph Parker.
I am with Joseph Parker. Yeah, what did you make of that, Joseph?
Explosive and quick. Faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But, you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock out the opponent and go home and chill.
It's silly of me to say, do you want Moses next? Because really, you want Alexander Usyk, don't you?
Yeah, I want Usyk next. I know Usyk's deserves his time to relax and chill with his family. When he's ready, I'd love to open up negotiations and see if we can make that fight happen.
Does that extension clause with the sanctioning body give you more hope that it may well happen?
You just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. There's an extension to buy more time to on an injury, and hopefully, you know, when he does decide to come back, then we can negotiate, and if we can make it happen, it'll be awesome.
Listen, we love you, and you're all about you, and we want you to be a world champion again, and I think you will be. But just say a final word on what we've witnessed tonight in the 20-year-olds who may be the coming force eventually.
Listen, he did a tremendous job. I'm just watching it now. I don't really see it properly, but he, you know, power and precision, picking his shots. Just an explosive display tonight.
Would you like to fight him as well?
Anyone and everyone. I don't care who I fight.
There you go. Everyone and anyone. Joseph Parker, thank you so much, as always. And back to you in the studio, guys.
Great stuff, interesting there from Joseph Parker. I want to bring back in Spencer Oliver. Spencer, as much as this is Itauma's night, and rightly so, let's just talk about the future for Dillian Whyte. So many people saying that this was win or bust for him. Do you think that retirement is the likely outcome now?
Absolutely, yeah, retirement. I don't think there's any other option, if I'm totally honest. You know, Dillian Whyte's been at the top. He's been there for a long time. He's had a number of fights. His career goes way back to 2011, you know, and I think he's been there, seen it, done it, and there is time to, you know, say enough's enough. It's a young man's sport, and we witnessed that tonight. You know, that, yeah, it will be curtains for Dillian Whyte. I don't think we ever see him in the ring again.
Going back to Itauma, John Rawling, Frank Warren there said he was one of the best, if not the best, he's ever worked with at this age. Can you just outline how much of a compliment that is from someone like Frank Warren?
Well, it's a huge compliment. I mean, Frank's been one of the leading, if not the leading promoter in the UK since the early 1980s. So he's seen them all come and go. And, you know, I mean, I've witnessed a fair few of them. I've certainly not seen a heavyweight in this country come through with the same sort of exciting talent that he has. You know, Anthony Joshua won the Olympics, and yeah, he got the country behind him, and it was fair play to him what he did. And likewise, Audley Harrison. But, you know, these guys were not in the same level, I don't think, as Moses Itauma. There are going to be people out there who say, well, hang on, you're overhyping him now, so let's just wait. Let's wait till somebody's in there who's going to do some rounds, who's going to hit him back. But you know, I find it hard at the moment to see where that guy is. You know, as you trawl through the leading heavyweights in the division, Spencer, and it's difficult, isn't it, to think of a man who's actually going to put rounds together and give him the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 round fight that he needed. You see, Tyson, before he beat Trevor Berbick, he'd had those long rounds, he's had those long fights, he'd had distance fights, and he knew about pacing himself in a major contest. And so far, Itauma's not got that, apart from in sparring.
Well, they put their Dempsey McKean in there to give him the rounds. He blew him away straight away. Mike Balogun last time out, he was meant to give him rounds. He blew him away as well. Dillian Whyte was the acid test. He was the guy that should have given him rounds. He's been there, seen it, done it, pushed everyone, and was considered the danger man. And he wiped him out. How high is the ceiling? How is he going to get those rounds? I think he becomes world champion before he does the rounds. That's how good this kid is. You know, the opportunity is there now. Let's see what happens with Joseph Parker, the WBO interim champion. Him and Filip Hrgović both won tonight. Hrgović is the WBO number 2. That could become vacant if Joseph Parker takes another route. Alexander Usyk decides that he wants to give up that title because he's injured and he won't be able to defend it in time. So many moving parts, but one thing is for sure, Moses Itauma is only a fraction away from boxing for a world heavyweight title.
Spencer Oliver, Gareth A. Davies, John Rawling, fantastic work as always, ringside in Saudi Arabia. Duke, before the fight, we were talking about the comparisons, of course, with Anthony Joshua and that rising star and having 12 fights and being unbeaten and heading into this and it being that first test. With what you've seen so far, though, from Itauma, with tonight included, do you feel that he has the potential to go even further than someone like AJ has in his career?
Well, at this stage in his career, he's already further than what AJ is. This kid's had 12 fights, right? So when you look at him, he's so exciting because, again, he's a southpaw, and southpaw's an absolute nightmare to fight. Given that, couple that with his youth, his hand speed, his drive, ambition and determination, he ticks so many boxes. Like, I don't know who beats him. And with the exception of Usyk, with the exception of maybe, I'm trying to think of the other kid's name, Cabell, those two probably are the only two guys that are going to give this kid a test. I think if you put this kid in with Joshua, Neil, and Joshua of today, 2025, there's only one winner. You know?
Yeah, OK, we're going to get more reaction in just a moment from Duke McKenzie here on talkSPORT. This is Fight Night. Good evening, this is Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Klink. I'm alongside the former three-weight world champion, Duke McKenzie. We have just seen devastation in Saudi Arabia. Moses Itauma knocking out Dillian Whyte within the first round and announcing himself on the world stage. A star has been born tonight and we are reacting to it right here. Duke, before we get into Itauma and what is next for him, because there was even talk of Alexander Usyk in the ring after the fight, let's just have a quick chat about Dillian Whyte, because I was listening to you on talkSPORT this week talk about Whyte's demeanour in the build-up to this fight. Now, a lot of talk was there about the fact that he'd cut a lot of weight. He was the lightest he'd been since 2015. Seemed like he was taking it very seriously. But do you think that really was the case? You know, is this the case that Itauma has essentially exploded through him and just has greater talent than him, or that Whyte maybe wasn't taking this fight as seriously as he could have?
No, I think Dillian Whyte took the fight very, very seriously. As I said previously, you know, when you get to a certain age and you're still running at 36, 37 years of age, you're still going to the gym, you're still putting in the work, you know, that shows a lot of dedication. However, it is so taxing on the body. It's tiring on the body. And by the time you get to fight, you haven't really got a lot left because you've tried so hard, you know, to prove to yourself that you can still make weight, still cut weight, still look good, still feel strong. But when you get in there and you're just running on empty. I'm not saying even if he had done it the right way, even a prime Dillian Whyte may or may not have beaten Moses Itauma, because we'll never know. But all we do know is that Itauma's got Dillian Whyte at the right time. It was a classic case of one guy on the way up and another guy on the way down. It was a fantastic performance by Itauma, taking nothing away from the kid. He went out there, he sat at his stall, did exactly what he said he was going to do. Now, like I say, when you look at the bigger picture, the bigger sort of dynamics, you go, well, where do you go with a kid that is this young, this exciting? Who are you going to put him in with? Who are you going to pitch him in with? Do you know what I mean? If it's not for a world championship against Usyk, who else are you going to put him in with? You know, Joseph Parker, obviously he deserves a world title fight because he's been waiting for so long and he's earned his spot as the number one mandatory. So, you know, I mean, a world title fight won't be Moses Itauma's next fight, but he's not going to be too far away.
But we're talking about a generational fighter in Alexander Usyk, a generational talent. Would you say right now, even if this fight doesn't happen, even if we're being a bit hypothetical here, that Itauma would be ready to get in the ring with Usyk and potentially beat him? No, I'm not saying that at all. I still don't feel that even that performance is not enough to beat Alexander Usyk, because boxing's all about levels. And Usyk isn't the kind of, as I said before, Usyk's not on the slide. He's not, and he would, you know, once you set out your game plan and you get your tactics and ABCD right, as Usyk has done. That's why he's unbeaten and a two division unified 4-belt era champion. That's what separates the good from the great. Moses Itauma is a good fighter. There's no doubt about it. And one day he can go on to be great. But right now he's looking at a generational great in Alexander Usyk. And right now I don't think he beats Usyk. If it is Parker, then, which would be the expected route that this goes down, what would you expect from that fight?
On that performance, well, see, Joseph Parker brings a whole different set of problems to Moses Itauma, because Joseph Parker's not. Listen. What we've just seen with Dillian Whyte is he was finished and washed up, right? But Joseph Parker's not that guy. Joseph Parker, there's a lot of miles left on his clock, so that sets a whole new set of problems for Moses Itauma. But on that performance, what we've just seen from Moses Itauma, you'd fancy him heavily, very strongly against Joseph Parker.
One name you have mentioned though a lot is Caballero.
Now you're talking. Now when you're talking about youth, ambition, strong fighters, Caballero for me would be the one that tells us just how good Moses Itauma is.
Why is that?
Because he's unbeaten. He works at a high intensity. He's done the rounds. He works people up and down. I mean, he works the head and he works the body, which you don't see with most heavyweights now. He's an intelligent fighter. Seems to take a good shot, and that's the kind of guy you'd like to see Itauma in with to see just how good he is. Now, if he's doing that to Caballero, I mean,
we've got a series.
You got a serious guy on your hands. I mean, like I say, I don't want to take nothing away from Itauma's performance tonight. It was first class. You absolutely can't fault him whatsoever. but he beat a 37-year-old guy that had had too many miles on the clock and quite clearly wasn't in the same league.
Yeah, the thing is, it's no fault of his own. It's just that he's been so
good,
brilliant in these fights.
Yeah,
but,
he's that good.
You know, you can imagine though that heading into some of those fights that we've just talked about there, whether it is Caballero, whether it is Parker. I mean, you mentioned with Caballero, he's done the rounds, and the one thing over Itauma at the moment is the fact that he hasn't done those rounds.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's not his fault, is it?
It's not his fault, and you know he's getting guys out of there that they put him in with certain fighters like a Dillian Whyte, and you say, well, this guy's going to give him a few rounds. I thought Dillian Whyte would give him at least 10, but he tore up the script and just wiped the floor with him. So you got to say, well, what, you know, where is he going to go next? They're going to have to take a chance of him at some point, and it's going to be sooner rather than later because they're going to run out of options. I mean, he would beat the living daylights out of Hrgović, Itauma. I don't like saying. Then you start looking for, well, who else is there? I'm struggling now to think of anybody that's going to be able to beat this guy.
If we look at the broader picture as well, in the sense that Itauma, you know, we've been saying it's the birth of a star. He's about to be, you know, launched into the mix of the heavyweights, of household names, and he'll become one himself, especially off the back of a performance like this. What are the most important things, do you think, for you that he needs to make sure he's doing? I'm assuming you're going to say stay as grounded as possible, and maybe in some respects try and shut out some of that noise.
Yeah, but if you look at his whole demeanour, like I say, this kid's got a young head on old shoulders. He really has. It's the other way around, isn't it? He's got an old head on young shoulders. Yeah, okay, let's do it that way. He really has. He doesn't strike me as the kind of kid to start getting carried away and getting drawn up into all the fame and the pats on the back and the adulation. He wants to win for himself. He wants to test himself against the best for himself. He's got a great attitude, and he's probably got the right people around him to guide and help him just keep his feet on the ground. You can imagine the sort of attention that he's going to get, you know, the cars, the houses, the women, the whole shebang. But he's staying away from that if you can at 20 years of age, if you can. And, you know, many a good fighter have all fallen victim to the trappings of wealth. And you would only hope that this guy can keep his feet on the ground and, you know, go all the way and become heavyweight champion of the world.
There weren't many on show tonight, but if there are any areas for you that you feel he does still need a bit of work on?
Well, it's obvious what he needs to work on, and that's not knocking people out so quickly. I mean, listen, the only area he has to work on is, I don't know how, unless you get the experience of doing the rounds. It's okay doing the rounds in the gym when you're sparring, that's all well and good, but you have to do the rounds in the ring to get that ring fitness. And we don't know if he can do 12 hard rounds. We don't know that because he's knocking everybody out. You know, I think looking back on my own career, I was European champion after 13 fights. So that's pretty much half the world. So he's knocking on the door now for the big one, for a world title fight, and possibly his 14th or 15th, even his 16th fight. So, you know, he's ahead of the game. So, you know, like I say, we have to think to ourselves, you know, if Usyk, let's just say Usyk gives up the belts, then there's going to be 4 belts up for grabs, and he's going to claim at least 1 or 2 of them.
We could be seeing that. Duke, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Duke McKenzie. Don't forget, by the way, to subscribe to the talkSPORT Boxing channel on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of our free and exclusive content, including the Talk Boxing Show with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver. There will be plenty of reaction, of course, to tonight. You've been listening to Fight Night here on talkSPORT with me, Ollie Klink, as well as our top team over in Saudi Arabia and Duke McKenzie. What a night for Moses Itauma, who has cemented himself as a major player in the heavyweight division with a first-round knockout of Dillian Whyte. Here's how it sounded right here on talkSPORT.
Oh, big shot to the head of Dillian's heart.
He's got his gloves up, he's got his gloves up, he's about to go down, is he? Here comes the big attack for Itauma. Whyte trying to cover up, trying to survive. Good left hand and the body shot. He's stumbling along the ropes, he's not gone, not yet. He takes the right hand. He goes down. He might have gone now. Is he going to be able to get up? In the first round, Dillian Whyte is struggling to his feet, and the referee says it's all over. It has finished in the first round, and Moses Itauma gets the dream victory. He's down on his knees, getting the applause of his trainer, Ben Davidson. And Moses Moses Itauma, certainly here in Riyadh tonight, you could argue he has arrived.
John Rawling, a star is born. All the answers were answered right there. He went out, it was calculated, he was throwing the left hand to the body, he brought the hands down of Dillian Whyte, the right hook over the head, top took his legs away, body shots went in as well. Savage finish, calculated finish, and I tell you what, this cut kid is the new star of heavyweight boxing. Remember the name, Moses Itauma.
Welcome to My Life in Boxing with me, Gareth Davis, and him, Spencer